We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So great to see everybody tonight. Sorry for a little bit late. I was tied up doing some stuff, and I didn't get a chance to get everything rolling. And so tonight's show is going to be a little different than usual. I don't have 100 tabs. I do have a whole bunch of stories. I just didn't pull up the tabs. I'm going to have to do it on the fly as we go. So it'll be an adventure. I want to thank everybody for being here. Let's see who's here tonight. Let's see. We have G Sharkman. Says he was first. Well, that's great. And Steve Hillier's very upset. Dang, he beat him to it. Good to see you. What the F's here also. Great to see you. And None Your Business is here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Pat Hacker, great to see you, Ms. Hacker. So great to be here. Great to be here. And then Jim says, I'm running a few minutes late. I was. The other Gagax, Mr. Dan, says, hi, Jim. Great to see you. And then Pat says, can anyone picture Jim running? I run a lot. I'm always running. And I was running. Terry, what's up? Great to see you. Yes, Wrench Turner's here too. Good to see you. And Andy Gorski's here. What's up? Great to see you, Andy. Late, gay, and breaded. Yeah, well, unfortunately, it was. You hope to hear an update on Finn the rescue kitty. He has ventured from under the bed yet? I'm confused. Let's go, Better Man. What's up? Great to see you. Lisa, hey, how you doing? Great. I'm watching another stream trying to find the SWAT raid out of Tucson. There's a SWAT raid in Tucson? I didn't even know that. Well, I'm going to have to look at that. Hey, OTR Smokehouse, what's up? Great to see you. He sleeps in the spare bedroom, now under the blankets. Oh, okay, so that's Terry's kitty. Okay, all right. Try cooking something delicious smelling, and cats like to pot of chicken soup. Yes. I like the name Finn. Yes. Critter Sitter's here too. Hey, howdy, y'all. Please hit the like button, and thanks for being here. I'm being patient, but it's hard. Oh, you're talking about your kitty cat. Delay is obvious here too. Great to see you, Delay. Phil Coggins is here too. Hey, Pat and others. Great to see you. All right. What do you have talking about a cat? Jody's here. Great to see you, Jody. And Sunshine. Hey, great to see you, Sunshine. Awesome seeing you here. You always brighten up the day when Sunshine's here. Wandering Gone 62. Wandering 162. I'm sorry. Nice to see you. Effie, hey, hi Jim. Hope all's well. Heard SWAT has reporters running circle. Oh, really? I don't know anything about that. I don't know. Am I screwing up? I'm not knowing anything. Let's see. So yeah, Donald Trump. It is Friday the 13th, so I thought that was a fitting thing to show Donald Trump. You know. Let's see here. Bookmarks. So let's see here. So this is breaking news. A grand jury has indicted. Why is this? What? Oh, I know why. Because I didn't have this. There we go. Is that better? That's better. Grand jury has indicted Raiden Tanner Coleman, 18, on new charges, including first-degree attempted domestic terrorism and second-degree domestic terrorism. Like, I didn't know we had all these degrees of domestic terrorism. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Hey, Renee Collins is here. Hey, how you doing? Great to see you. Awesome. Coleman devised an intricate plot to kill ICE agents as they left the ICE facility in Portland, Oregon. This guy. An Oregon teen has been arrested for plotting to kill ICE agents in Oregon. Wow. That's nuts, isn't it? That's just nuts, isn't it? That's just nuts. I forgot. Wow, I am really screwing up. I didn't say anything about the goal tonight, did I? As always, there's a goal on the show. New viewers might not know. Old viewers are not. I should say old viewers because you're not old. You're all just very young at heart. But anyway, for every what we do here is the show operates on your generosity. We do a show that lasts about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, somewhere around there. But for every $100 in total that comes in across all platforms, YouTube, Super Chats, Rumble, Rants, becoming members on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, Locals, coins on Locals. Also, if you want to gift memberships, that's also added up. And if someone wants to give on PayPal or Cash App, those links are pinned in the chat. And also, there's a link for something called Super Tips, which is another tip platform. They just use Stripe credit cards, and they don't take they only take like a 5% or 10% fee as opposed to the 60% sometimes YouTube will take if you use their, an iPhone. If you use an iPhone to give money on YouTube, YouTube takes 30%, Apple takes 30%. So that's how that works. But anyway, so there's Cash App, PayPal, Super Tips, and this Coffee app, Ko-Fi, K-O-F-I app. And all that stuff's added up. And when we hit 100, we add an extra hour to the show. And then for every 100 that comes in, we add an extra hour to the show. And also as an added bonus, when we hit $50, we activate Bellavision for the evening. Wow, I got to fix her camera. It's all jacked. Because I think it's jacked because I lost power last night. And so I think it's jacked for that reason. So it's never. Let's see here. There we go. I activate Bellavision for the evening at 50. But, if someone is generous enough to donate an individual donation of $25, then we activate Bellavision immediately for the evening. And that could be a $25 Super Chat or PayPal, Rumble Rant, whatever, Cash App. Or if somebody gifts 5 memberships on YouTube or Rumble or on Twitch or Kick or whatever, that would automatically be the $25 to get the Bellavision activated for the evening. So there's Bella. She is still alive. And there she is. So we'll see what happens. And let's get into the first story of the evening. Dark humor. Yes. I didn't even realize it was Friday the 13th. Yes. It's not a full moon, though. Full moon was off by about 4 days, so there's that. So, Oregon man arrested for plot to decapitate ICE agents in Portland. This is crazy, right? Take their heads to recruit others to join the new nation. So, why this isn't sedition, insurrection, also, like not just terrorism, he was trying to form a new nation. Look at him, crazy eyes. So, Tanner Coleman, 18 of St. Helens, devised an intricate plan that included beheading ICE agents and taking their sever's head as trophies. Hey, what's up? I didn't even see Joe's here. Going back to the start. Hope to catch up soon. I just started, Joe, so it's not really. I was 10 minutes late, so yeah. So it's not. Didn't really miss anything. We started around 7:20. Yeah, it was. Lordy, this is crazy, right? Yeah. So he's been arrested for plotting to kill U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE agents in Portland. Raiden Tanner Coleman, 18 of St. Helens, devised an intricate plan, including beheading agents, taking their sever's head as trophies, according to court documents. Coleman was arrested by local authorities on February 4th and booked into the Columbia County Jail on a $400,000 bail. The defendant was apprehended after the parent of one of his roommates reported his kill plot to police. What about the roommate? The roommate didn't report it? Oh, look at this. Possession of destructive device, manufactured destructive device. Those are serious charges. According to probable cause affidavit obtained by KATU, Coleman allegedly planned to follow ICE agents home after they left the facility on Macadam Avenue and kill them. Wow. So they were plotting to follow the ICE agents. So see the people following the ICE agents. Why bail? I don't think, did he get bail? Does it say he got bail? Just as a rain not filed. $400,000 bail. I don't know. 400,000 does seem kind of low for that, but he seems dangerous, but maybe, who knows? I don't know. So this includes using night vision goggles to stalk their whereabouts and wearing camouflage clothing to blend in. Investigators found Coleman in possession of surveillance equipment, tactical axes. Tactical axes? That's crazy. What's a tactical axe? You might ask. Military knives, shovels, and homemade explosive devices, including Molotov cocktails, which were located in his vehicle during the arrest. Coleman had been making payments towards an AR-15, according to court documents. I mean, making payments. They're like $500. What are you making payments for? Coleman, who shared his plans in a manifesto on the app Discord. Discord might have problems. Parents will have to take out a second mortgage on their house to pay that bail. Yeah. Writing in a message, sick and tired of immigration enforcement and was going to get my hands on a firearm. I will actively KIL, he says, any ICE agents killing or kidnapping civilians. Kidnapping civilians. See, this is rhetoric right out of the demon rat's mouth. These are the rhetoric of the demon rat politicians that is getting in these kids' heads and making them do crazy stuff. This is what caused the stuff that happened. The blood is on the demon rat's hands. Renee Good, Alex Preddy, all these people. This is on them. The demon rats. They did this. They stoked this up. Crazy people that are on medications, all this other stuff, and they stoked them up. Got them all. They put the jumper cables on them. Got them all charged up and sent them out there. Why not go and take over Somalia? This guy was not a glowy. A Fed would have just been given a $2,500 and sent on his way. Yeah. He also intended to behead ICE agents and take their severed heads. His roommates told police in an interview that they initially thought he was joking around until they noticed his stockpile of weapons. One roommate said he attempted to talk Coleman out of the killing, telling him at the time, "I think you're too good an important person to get locked up." Coleman also planned to kill the father of his friend who works as a security guard at the Portland ICE facility. I know this might sound crazy, but I have a plan, he allegedly wrote. Any of these people who knew about the plan and didn't come forward, aren't they known as conspirators? Isn't that how that works? Court documents state that Coleman wanted to create a separate country in Warm Spring, Oregon, called the Cascadia Rangers Coalition. So he's a seditionist. which would act as a base for his cause to kill ICE. He planned to recruit people. Police said he admitted to plotting to kill ICE agents during an interview following his arrest, said he wanted to use Molotov cocktails. He also admitted to making comments about beheading ICE agents, but told police his desire was made out of anger and did not intend to kill them that way. Oh, he didn't intend to kill them that way. He was just going to chop their heads off later? I mean, that's kind of what that sounds like. Coleman's roommate said he first discussed his plot in early 2026, January. According to the defendant's alleged X account, Coleman has been radicalized against ICE for quite some time, with posts mentioning that ICE must be stopped dating back to January 2025. So ICE must be stopped in January 2025 before they did anything. That's weird. On January 9th, 2026, Coleman wrote in a post on X that when future generations ask what you did to resist tyranny, what will you say? That you cowered away? Well, I mean, I'm thinking our future generations might be asking us what we're doing to stop these crazy people like this and these demon rats. Like, I think we're at an inflection point, really. Like, Phil Coggins says, that's a hell of a sales pitch for a new nation and a bit based. Well, that you didn't help your neighbor because you wanted to fight a hateful and violent ideology with peace and love. What we do is cement that side and take in history. Whatever. He followed up a post writing, we have waited far too long and allowed too much damage to be done. Yeah, we did. We waited way too long and allowed too much damage to be done by the invasion that happened and by the people that were treasonous and allowed our country to be overrun. I wonder what happened in January 2025. Oh, yeah, somebody got sworn into office. That's what happened. And so ICE was immediately had to be killed? I don't know. ICE will kill you and commit other crimes against humanity without caring if you have loved ones and have the right to self-defense. I mean, these people are fucking insane. These people are insane. Fight back against the menace. Defend yourselves and neighbors with force. Wow. Coleman has been arraigned on charges including 6 counts of unlawful manufacture of destructive device, 6 counts of unlawful possession of a destructive device. I believe those are all like 10-year felonies, each one. An attempted second-degree assault. He has additional charges pending. And what do you want to bet he didn't have a date for the prom? Well, he did. It was his right hand. And a pretrial release hearing has been scheduled for Wednesday, February 11th. Oh, I'm sure they'll just release him, right? They'll say, go away. We don't need you. It's the Oregon schools, believe me. Oregon schools, believe me. Yeah. Probably the schools. Probably the schools. Probably. What these people don't realize that if ICE is the Gestapo they fear, why haven't they taken up arms? Yeah. They don't respect the election. No, they don't. They don't respect the election. Nothing going on in the ghetto. No. All right. So, let's see here. All right. So, we got this story. The feds open up a criminal probe into whether ICE officers lied about the shooting of a Venezuelan man in Minnesota. The federal government's opened a criminal probe into whether U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers lied about the shooting of a Venezuelan man in Minneapolis. U.S. District Court Judge Paul A. Magnuson dismissed the case against Alfredo Alejandro Alnorna and Julio Cesar Sosa Cias was prejudiced, meaning the charges can't be resubmitted. Like, what? Neither video evidence nor testimony from a neighbor and the men's romantic partner supported the agent's accounts. Oh, so the people that, so that's how it works now. So a criminal does something, the cops say they did this, and the criminal says, I didn't do it. And the judge says, well, they said they didn't do it. Is that how it works now? That's really how it works. Wow. That's insane. That is insane. That's really how it works now. Crazy. So DHS officers on leave face prosecution over false statements after Minneapolis migrant shooting. Are you going to talk about this sheriff that didn't know how the 3 branches of government or who he worked for? You talking about the sheriff in Pima County with the FBI stuff? Is that what you're talking about? I don't know what. They only care about democracy as long as it means they win. The sad thing is that it's not even their political power they are fighting to preserve. Are you talking about the sheriff? Talking about the sheriff in Pima County or the sheriff in Pennsylvania? The crazy lady sheriff that said all this crazy stuff. Anyway, I don't know. So, 2 officers at the Department of Homeland Security have been placed on leave and may face criminal charges after giving false reports about a migrant-involved shooting in Minnesota last month. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Acting Director Todd Lyons said in a statement on Friday, the unidentified officers made untruthful statements under oath and had been immediately placed on administrative leave pending completion of a thorough internal investigation. Like, no, he was questioned by Congress. Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, you got a link for that? I'd love to see it. So I think I have. Hold on. I think I have Todd Lyons talking. Let me look. Oh wait, no. Hold on. I'm in the wrong place. I'm in the wrong place. I'm in the wrong place. Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Damn it. I guess I should have been more prepared. I'm sorry. Damn it. Where are you at? I know it's here. I know I have it. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. There it is. All right. There it is. I knew I had it. Yeah. Here's a statement from Todd Lyons. It says, we're going to serve a criminal. This was him talking in Congress. This is.
But when it comes to issues like cooperation at the local state level, again, ICE does do that. But so many times, I'll give you the example of Aurora, Colorado. We were going to serve a criminal warrant on an apartment complex of known TDA gang members that was full. We tried to work with the state and local government. They made notifications that the operation was ongoing. So when tactical teams arrived, protesters were already there and the apartment complex was empty. We've seen that time and time again. I've had it where I've made notifications. Again, I've had the privilege of having this job for almost 20 years and doing it at the enforcement level to notify a local police department. And then they would put that out in a tweet. ICE is going to be at L and 8th Street. So we reach a point that we want to cooperate. We want to be good partners. But how many times, again, can we beat Charlie Brown with the football and say, okay, this time you're going to work with us? And it doesn't happen.
Yes. Sheriff in North Carolina didn't know what branch of government he worked for. Hey, gang, how's everybody going? So, hey, Ford and Freedom, great to see you. I thought that clip was different.
But when it comes to issues,
oh, yes. This is, that's going to be nice. Let's do this. And then I got this other one I got to talk about because it's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. It's going to make everybody upset. Yes, that is it. All right. Hey, life is different. Great to see you. Was I a scout? Yes, I was in the Boy Scouts. Why? I know I'm supposed to be prepared. I just ran into stuff. I couldn't do it today. So, the 2 officers, yeah, so we see this. So he testified. I thought that was it, but it wasn't. Initial account by DHS stated suspect crashed into a parked car and then fled on foot after agents caught up with the suspect. They began to resist and violently assault the officers. A struggle ensued, and 2 other migrants came out of a nearby apartment and tried to bludgeon the officer with a snow shovel and a broom handle, which the original subject later got a hold of and began striking one of the officers. Fearing for his life and his safety as he was being ambushed by 3 individuals, the officer fired a defensive shot to save his life. Suspect was hit in the leg. All 3 suspects ran back to the apartment and barricaded themselves. The attacked officer and the subject are both in the hospital. Both attackers are in custody. The attacker, who was criminally charged, but the DOJ withdrew its complaint against both on Thursday. Why would the DOJ withdraw the complaint? Hey, Gary McFadden, what's up? Great to see you. Oh, no, Gary McFadden is the name of the sheriff. Okay. All right. Newly discovered evidence in this matter is materially inconsistent with the allegations in the complaint, as well as the preliminary hearing testimony that was based on information presented to the affiant. The prosecutor in the office of Minnesota said. So is this a case of more lawyers throwing cases because they don't like ICE and they don't like Trump? Is that what's going on here? I don't know, because it sure seems like that's going on in a lot of places. Accordingly, the dismissal with prejudice will serve the interests of justice, said Assistant U.S. Attorney Snegan Kesenenga. Federal judges previously ordered to release the accused men pending trial over the prosecutor's objections. On Friday, St. Paul senior U.S. Judge Paul Magnuson ordered the charges against the men dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can't be refiled. Lying under oath is a serious federal offense, Lyons noted in his Friday statement. The men and women of ICE are entrusted to uphold the law, and they're held to the highest standards of professionalism. Violations of the sacred sworn oath will not be tolerated. ICE remains fully committed to transparency, accountability, and fair enforcement. Brian Clark, a defense attorney who represented the men, said his clients were overjoyed by this news. So this didn't happen? Because I want to know the truth. If this was all a lie, then those agents should be in trouble. If they lied, made it up, and shot the guy for no reason, right? But is this like when it says, well, some things were wrong? I mean, what is the facts? That's what I want to know, the facts. The charges against them were based on lies. An ICE agent who recklessly shot into their home through a closed door. They are so happy justice being served by the government request to dismiss all the charges with prejudice. So he shot through the door. Huh. Reps for the U.S. Marshal Service did not immediately respond to requests for comment about the men's custody status. The Trump administration border czar Tom Homan announced Thursday that the surge of immigration officers in Minnesota was ending, with just a small footprint remaining in the state for a little longer. I think body cams will help. Yeah, body cams will help. Operation Metro Surge sent more than 3,000 agents to Minnesota, prompting fierce backlash from demon rats. Just 2,000 DHS personnel remain in the state, of whom 700 will stay in Minneapolis. So, I mean, it's not like they're all gone. It's just like a few are gone. So, and here's Just the News, which has it. And they say, no, what happened? And they say, feds probing whether two officers in Minnesota lied about the confrontation. So they're probing, like the fact that Todd Lyons supposedly came out and said that they lied under oath already. That seems like then the investigation's done. If you say they lied already, you already made your determination that they lied. So are they probing whether they lied, or are you saying they lied? I mean, what are the facts? I mean, are you just going off of what another witness said? Is it he said, she said? Because if it's he said, she said, you can't. I mean, what are you doing here? I mean, I really wanted just to know the truth. That's all. Acting Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director Todd Lyons said they are investigating whether the two agents lied under oath. So did they lie or not? I mean, what is going on? The incident occurred during a targeted traffic stop of an illegal Venezuelan. We disappeared. What are you talking about? No one videoed it on their phone? I don't know. Say, what are you talking about? You disappeared. Where'd you disappear to? I don't see nobody disappearing. I don't see what you're talking about. Had a pot pie? Oh. Shooting occurred last month. Agents were allegedly ambushed by shovel-wielding suspects. Lyons said a review of the case includes a look at video evidence revealed the officer appeared to make untruthful statements about the incident while under oath. He did not indicate which parts of their testimony were untruthful. If those agents end up in prison, they're going to need to pay agents $1 million a year just to keep the others. Yeah, I would think so. I mean, what were the untruthful statements? Did it have anything to do with them being attacked? Or was it something else? Like, really. Today, a joint review by ICE and the Department of Justice of video evidence has revealed that sworn testimony provided by two separate officers appeared to have made untruthful statements. Both officers have immediately placed on administrative leave. Like, I really want to know. What were the untruthful statements. As much as I support this administration, they really need to get on a group chat from time to time and compare notes. Messaging is all over the place. It is. It's nuts. The revelation comes a day after the U.S. attorney for Minnesota asked the judge to dismiss the charges. So who is the U.S. attorney of Minnesota? Is it a Trump appointee or is it someone that a judge picked? I mean, what's going on here? What's going on here? One of the agents lied about what he ate for breakfast that morning. They were asked, what did you have for breakfast this morning? And he said, I always eat breakfast. What are you talking about? Something crazy. Before the show started, G. Sharkman and I were alone in the chat. I drove home and neither of us were in the chat. Sometimes that happens. Like YouTube will kick people. Like, I don't know why they'll remove comments out of the chat. Inquiring minds want to know. Yeah. I'd like to know. I would really like to know. So, yeah. So, you guys were paying attention to the story of Irina Zarutska, right? Remember Irina Zarutska, the woman who was like this on a train getting stabbed by the crazy person? Well, here, so we'll read it first. It says, Roy Cooper, the former governor of North Carolina, refuses to answer why he released Irina Zarutska's killer from prison, one of 3,500 criminals he released. His staff jump in to stop the camera from asking one simple question about his soft on crime policies, which have deadly consequences.
Governor Cooper, why was DeCarlos Brown on your list for early release? Governor Cooper, could you answer the question, please? Governor Cooper, why was DeCarlos Brown on your list for early release? Governor Cooper, why was DeCarlos Brown on your list for early release? Governor Cooper.
All right. All right. And President Trump just went hard after former Democrat Governor Roy Cooper for letting Irina Zarutska's killer out of prison early, giving him a chance to slay her. Cooper is now running for a U.S. Senate in North Carolina. He cannot win. Roy Cooper put violent criminals back on the streets. He has disgraced North Carolina and disqualified himself from public office. Law and order is coming back. Vote Michael Whatley for Senate. So, yeah. North Carolina GOP, train stabbing suspect freed by Dem governor. Yeah.
Republicans are making a bombshell allegation saying that the suspect in the murder of Ukrainian refugee aboard a Charlotte train was released under a COVID-era deal signed by former governor and current Senate candidate, Democrat Roy Cooper. Now, Irina Zarutska, who you're looking at there, you'll remember this, was stabbed to death in a gruesome attack aboard a Charlotte light rail train last summer. The suspect charged was repeat offender DeCarlos Brown Jr., repeated his offenses quite a bit. We'll show you that in a moment. And now Republicans allege that he may have only been out on the streets due to Cooper. A new piece in Fox News Digital reads, Republican officials say records are raising urgent questions about whether DeCarlos Brown Jr., the parolee charged in the fatal stabbing of 23-year-old Irina Zarutska, was tied to a 2021 COVID-era settlement that authorized the early release or transition of 3,500 incarcerated individuals. Cooper's campaign disputed the allegation and said that Brown was not released as part of the settlement. Their campaign spokesperson told Fox News Digital these attacks are false. Roy Cooper is the only candidate who spent his career prosecuting violent criminals and keeping thousands of them behind bars as Attorney General and signaling tough on crime laws and stricter pretrial release bail policies as governor. DeCarlos Brown Jr. has a long history of repeated offenses. You see his mugshots there. But it is not the only repeat offender allegedly released by the settlement. There were thousands others. Harris, we know.
Wow, that's crazy, right? Well, it looks like we had a $10 donation on PayPal from, I don't want to say the name because I'm not sure. I'm not sure who it is. Like, I don't want to dox somebody. So whoever you are, I'll just say the initials, SC. Thank you for the 10 on PayPal. What does COVID have to do with it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't understand anything. Cooper most likely doesn't know. Someone made a list and said, we suggest these people. And he says, okay, sounds good. Who made the list, though? Yeah, who made the list? Hey, you watched the full video? Sick. So thank you, SC, whoever you are, for the 10 on PayPal. And with that, we are now 90 away from the first additional hour of the show and 40 away from Bellavision. So thank you so much. Individuals or black prisoners. I don't have the list, Ms. Hacker, of the stuff. I don't have all the information. This is like breaking news stuff that just got released and talked about. Cooper as a POS should be nowhere near a Senate seat. When they ask me what radicalized you, I'm showing them this. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And then we got this story, which says Trump says he will require during COVID they let people out, but it was supposed to be nonviolent offenders. Yeah, it was supposed to be, right? Supposed to be. But then again, they reclassify what violence is. Speech is violence, but violence is not. So Trump said he would seek national voter ID requirements for the November midterms regardless of Congress and will shortly issue an executive order laying out the legal reasons. Forging Freedom says, Ms. Hacker, there were also activists marching a protest to let people out because of the health risk. We saw that in my area. Yeah. Amid opposition from House Demon Rats, Trump posted Trump's True Social that he will push for voter ID laws for the 2026 midterms, despite legislative delays. Reporting notes President Trump did not clarify the legal basis for the nationwide voter ID rules. Well, the legal basis is to prevent fraud and people who aren't supposed to vote for voting. I mean, that's the legal basis. It also has the support of 80% of the public. 80% of the U.S. public supports it. 80. 80. That's a lot of that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. So okay. Let's see here. We'll pull up one of the stories. We'll go here. Go click right and see who's here. We got Breitbart, Epoch Times, Gateway Pundit. We'll pull up the Gateway Pundit. President Trump says he will sign an executive order mandating voter ID shortly as Senate debates the SAVE Act, and it's a can't miss for re-election in the midterms and beyond. Incarceration is a form of isolation. Yeah, definitely. So President Trump went off in a Truth Social post on Friday, demanding that Republicans pass the Save America Act to require voter ID and proof of citizenship. Damn it, I forgot to bring my thing in. And suggests he will sign an executive order to institute the law himself. The president declared, if we can't get it through Congress, there are legal reasons why this scam is not permitted. I will be presenting them shortly in the form of an executive order. We cannot let the demon rats get away with no voter ID any longer. These are horrible, disingenuous cheaters. They have all sorts of reasons why it shouldn't be passed and then boldly laugh in the back rooms after the ridiculous presentations. If it weren't such a serious matter, it would be considered a total joke. No voter ID is even crazier and more ridiculous than men playing in women's sports, open borders, or transgender for everyone. Yeah. During COVID, they wanted to lock us up and let them out. I quit trying to make sense of radical leftists. I would think people in jail were at less risk. You would think people in jail were at less risk. You would think. I mean, that would make sense. That would be, that would seem to make sense. That would be like, they will not get 60 votes in the Senate. Well, technically, they don't need 60 votes in the Senate. The 60 votes in the Senate thing is a procedural thing to pass the procedure to bring it to the floor. But they need to go back to where if you want to filibuster, you actually have to stand up there and filibuster. It's not just like, we're going to say it's a filibuster and we're not going to give you the vote, so just don't do it. Just keep going. Because the reason as soon as they stop, you could bring it up to our vote. That's the thing. And so that's why they're like, we don't want to do that because then nothing else happens in the Senate. Yeah, that's how it works. You just keep going until they decide to either pass on it or, let it go through. This comes after the U.S. House of Representatives passed the SAVE Act, sending it to the Senate for final approval. Even one Democrat, Representative Henry Cuellar, voted in favor of the legislation. However, Republicans will not have the required Democrat support in the Senate to reach the 60-vote filibuster threshold required to send the bill to the president's side. Technically, that's not true. It's not a 60-vote filibuster threshold. Someone has to get up there and filibuster it. It's not like not everything needs 60 votes. Christy Noem was in Phoenix today to audit the 2020 election and the voting system in Maricopa County. Yeah, I saw some stuff like that. We're going to talk a little bit about it in a little bit. The Senate can, however, use a standing filibuster to pass the bill with only 51 votes instead of the 3/5 required under the zombie filibuster. Yeah, it's crazy. Still, as the Gateway Pundit reported, the SAVE Act only has 49 sponsors out of 53 Republican senators. There are so-called Republican senators currently standing in the way of securing elections. Lisa Murkowski, Mitch McConnell, Susan Collins, and Tom Tillis of North Carolina. Go figure. As noted by Trump, if Republicans don't nuke the filibuster, the corrupt and deranged demon rats immediately will when they take power, so they can pass statehood for Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C., pack the Supreme Court, and destroy this country. Well, they can't pass statehood for D.C. without a constitutional amendment unless they think they can just ignore the Constitution, because it specifically says in the Constitution that D.C. is not a state and can't be a state. Yeah, the usual suspects of scumbaggeries, yeah. Republicans must put this at top of every speech. It's a can't miss for re-election in the midterms and beyond, Trump said, noting that even 85% of Democrat voters agree that ID and proof of citizenship should be required at the poll. 4 of them are rhinos, yes. Thank you for your attention to this matter. We cannot let the demon rats get away with no voter deal any longer. That's right, we read that already. Republicans must pass this and put this at the top of every speech. It's only the political crooked leaders like Schumer and Jeffries that have no shame and explain why it's racist and every other thing they can think of. This is an issue that's to be fought and must be fought now. If we can't get it through Congress, there are legal reasons why the scam is not permitted. I will be resigning them shortly. So, I hope the Supreme Court realizes as they painstakingly review the very simple topic of country-saving tariffs. Those tariffs have been used by other countries against the USA to drain it and its treasury for many years, and all sorts of other things that are making our country rich and powerful and safe again. And these corrupted, deranged demon rats, if they ever gain power again, will only be adding 2 states to the roster of 50 with all the baggage and pack the courts with a total of 21 Supreme Court justices, their dream, which they will submit easily and rapidly when they immediately move to terminate the filibuster. Probably in their first week or sooner. Our country will never be the same if they allow these demented and evil people to knowingly and happily destroy it. So, I don't know. I mean, the thing about nuking the filibuster is at some point you're going to lose power and, they'll use it against you. They've been trying to do it. The Democrats were going to do it under Biden. The only reason they didn't is because they didn't have the votes. Kirsten Gillibrand and Joe Manchin refused to go along with nuking the filibuster. That's why they didn't do it. And that's why they forced Gillibrand out of the party. They would have forced Manchin out, but he was retiring anyway and getting out, and they pretty much knew that there was no way they could have beat him in a primary for West Virginia if he wanted to stay in. People in West Virginia liked him, so it wasn't nothing they could do. Carolyn says the current filibuster is a coward's excuse. Bring back the real filibuster. Cowards cannot hide then. They face accountability. Yeah, they should have Cinema. I'm sorry, you're right. Cinema. Kirsten Cinema. Did I say Gillibrand? Kirsten Cinema. I don't know. Cinema from Arizona. Yeah, who then she became an independent because of what they did. So Carolyn agreed. Yeah, that's the thing. They need make the guy stand up there, make his face, make him say these things so the public see it. See what he's saying. Make him do it. I don't get it. I do not get it. So then this story was sort of interesting. Trump says a change in power in Iran would be the best thing that could happen. Trump says regime change in Iran would be the best thing that could happen. So, but what we got was worse than cinema. Oh yeah, I'll tell you the senator, what's his name? Oh, Gallego. Yeah. President Trump said Friday that regime change in Iran is the best thing that could happen, and as he continued to threaten U.S. military strikes if Tehran doesn't make a nuclear deal. And Trump said that he wanted Iran to agree to complete abandonment of its enrichment program, which Tehran has refused to do, insisting its radioactive research is for electricity and not atomic bombs. Alga News says, unless the next regime is worse than the current one. Yeah, I mean, you never know. You really don't. You really never know what's going to happen. We might as well wield the power while we have it, because the demon rats surely will when they get it back. Anything we can do now to throw up roadblocks, we must do. Well, that would make sense. That would be the plan. That would be like, you do these things now and you secure the elections so that they can't cheat, and then maybe things don't go the way they have been going. Trump should offer each Republican senator $1 million to change the filibuster rules. I think that's called a bribe. I don't know if that's legal, Trumpinator. I'm just saying. Asked if he wanted to overthrow Iran's theocratic government, the president responded, well, it seems like that would be the best thing that could happen. For 47 years, they've been talking and talking and talking, he told reporters following a visit to Fort Bragg. And in the meantime, we've lost a lot of lives while they talk. Legs blown off, arms blown off, faces blown off. And it's been going on for a long time, referring to Iran aid and anti-U.S. insurgents during the Iraq War. Referring to Iran's aid to anti-U.S. insurgents. So let's see what happens. In the meantime, tremendous power has arrived, and additional power, as you know, another carrier is going out. So yes, they're sending another carrier. Trump did not specify how regime change would happen after he egged on protesters last month before they were violently crushed by government forces. Yeah, they sent, there was a report of that they sent 6,000 Starlink units into Iran. Maybe if they actually did the things they promised, and the people who voted them in would return to keep them in power. I don't think they've thought of that. Yeah, well, that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem, is that these people get elected saying they're going to do something, and then they don't do it. And then it's like we have this back and forth thing, because it's like people lie to get elected, and then they lie to try to stay in office, and some people realize it and don't vote for them anymore. So, how many Iranians have been killed in the protests? I think quite a lot. Cut PR off and force them to be their own country is pure corruption there. The problem is the people of Puerto Rico would have to vote to become a state, and they've repeatedly voted not to be a state. It's the people, of Puerto Rico have to want to become a state. You can't just force it on them. I do like that thinking outside of the box, Trumpinator. Over 7,000 confirmed dead in the Iranian protests. Wow. That's a lot. The president has pointedly refused to answer questions about how he would attempt to assassinate, whether he would attempt to assassinate. Oh my God. He's also dismissed exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi as a viable contender to lead the country, suggesting Iranians themselves would have to sort the new government out. The people of Puerto Rico have the best of both worlds with the current status quo. Yeah, they don't want it to change. They like the way it is. Trump last month ordered the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier and supporting strike group into the Arabian Sea, setting the stage for possible strikes, and has informed the crew of a second aircraft carrier, the USS George H.W. Bush, to prepare to deploy. Lisa says, I heard 15,000, so I don't know the accurate count. Yeah, I don't know either. I've heard it all over the place. Just old school bribery goes a long way. Yes, it does. That would be speaking their language, Trumpinator. Yeah, it would. It would be speaking their language. Forging Freedom says, I've heard numbers ranging from 5,000 to 35,000. I don't think anybody really knows. Yeah. I don't think so either. I don't know how you would know. The U.S. negotiating team led by Special Envoy Steve Witkoff said the president and the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, met February 6th with Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Abadakhagadi, who said the indirect talks focus solely on the country's nuclear program, which was bombed last June by Israel and U.S. Washington also is interested in agreements to respect human rights and stop arming proxies such as Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Houthi movement that controls northern Yemen, though Tehran has so far refused to be drawn on those issues. Trump said Thursday that Iran faced a traumatic reckoning if it wouldn't make a deal after he met Wednesday with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to discuss the war plans. I heard between 50 and 100,000 people have died, and they continue. I try to keep up on Iranian news. I know a lot. I know it's a lot. I mean, I swore over a month ago they said 20,000. So the CIA did admit today, though, that they got 6,000 mini Starlinks inside Iran. I mean, I think we all knew that, but it was interesting to see them admit it. Yeah, I saw that was a story yesterday. I think I have it somewhere. I think. Yeah. I have it here. Yeah. U.S. smuggled thousands of Starlink terminals into Iran after the protest crackdown. The Trump administration smuggled roughly 6,000 Starlink terminals into Iran after the regime's crackdown on protests last month. Wall Street Journal reported Thursday. The covert effort, according to the journal, was aimed at keeping Iranian dissidents online after Tehran responded to nationwide demonstrations by killing thousands of protesters and severely restricting internet connectivity. So this says thousands of protesters. So that could be thousands. Could mean, but I don't know when they say tens of thousands. Or I guess they're covering everything. U.S. officials told the newspaper that deliveries represent the first time Washington has directly sent Starlink terminals into Iran, a high-risk move in a country where owning the device is illegal and can result in years in prison. The report underscores President Trump's strategy of confronting hostile regimes, not only through military strength and sanctions, but also by empowering citizens living under authoritarian rule. The journal said the State Department purchased nearly 7,000 Starlink terminals in recent months, with most acquired in January, and then smuggled approximately 6,000 of them into Iran. The purchase reportedly came after senior Trump administration appointees redirected funding from other internet freedom programs to buy the satellite internet kits. The White House declined to comment. Tehran has long accused the United States, without evidence, of fomenting unrest inside of Iran. Did we deny fomenting unrest? I mean, haven't we been trying to do that for 40 years? While the U.S. denied any role in organizing last month's demonstrations, what the hell is going on? The White House declined to comment. They've long accused them. While the U.S. denied any role in organizing last month's demonstrations, the journal noted that Starlink operation shows the administration has done more to support anti-regime activity than previously known. Yeah, dropping 6,000 Starlink units isn't evidence. Does Jim own a dog? Norm McDonald's, do you own a doghouse routine? I don't know. I mean, there is a dog. There she is. PBS said yesterday 7,003. That's why I said over 7,000 confirmed. Dropping 6,000 Starlink units isn't evidence. Like anybody who has, like I have a regular Starlink and stuff, and they sent me an email basically saying like, hey, listen, we'll give you a free Starlink mini kit. And all you got to pay is $5 a month. And if you need it, you can put it on and, whatever, and just activate it or whatever. And what's to say? This is Kilo. What's good, Jim? Hey, what's up, Kilo? How you doing? Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Please remember to hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. The report also highlights a growing internal debate among U.S. officials and internet freedom experts. Why does it keep doing this? What the fuck is going on? What is happening? The report highlights a growing internal debate among U.S. officials and internet freedom experts about the best tools for helping dissidents evade censorship. Yeah. What's up? Let's go. For years, U.S.-funded virtual private networks have allowed millions of Iranians to access information outside government firewalls. But officials cited by the journal said VPNs are effectively useless when the regime imposes near total internet shutdowns, making Starlink, despite its risk, one of the only ways to maintain connectivity. Some experts warned, however, that Starlink alone can make users easier to locate without additional protections, and they argued funding should not be diverted away from VPN providers. Like if they shut the internet off, what is VPN going to do? Some of those news sites are terrible to pop up ads. Newsmax is one of them. Yeah. The Journal reported that when the State Department shifted funds towards Starlink, support lapsed for 2 of 5 VPN providers serving Iran. Oh, wow. So the move comes as Trump continues high-stakes negotiations with Tehran. Seriously? You're going to keep fucking doing this repeatedly? What the fuck is going on? So it's going to keep playing ads and going to keep doing this. Iran has insisted on continuing uranium enrichment while the Trump administration has pushed to close any pathway to a nuclear weapon. The Journal reported that a failure to reach a deal could lead Trump to authorize military action, with U.S. forces already positioned in the Middle East. Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met Wednesday in Washington to discuss Iran. In a Truth Social post, Trump said he preferred a diplomatic solution, but warned if it cannot, we'll just have to see what the outcome will be. So that's what's going on. So who knows if war with Iran is going to happen or not? It's going to be what it's going to be. Then we got this story. Trump administration ends temporary protected status for Yemen. Some of those news sites are mini Starlinks. Yeah, mini Starlinks. Yeah, the mini Starlinks they give away for basically they were given out a program that basically give it to you for free, and you just pay them $5 a month, and you have the unit for free. And it's on like a program. And, Lisa Day says fun times. Hey, thank you, Lisa. And with that that puts us $5 closer to our goal, which means we are $85 away from adding an additional hour to the show, the first additional hour, and $35 away from Bellavision. Thank you. Dark, I know, but I play to win. Okay. Yeah, let's go, Lisa. What's up? Yeah. All right, thank you. So Chrissy Noem announced today that the Trump administration ended TPS status for Yemen, citing the U.S. against U.S. national interest. Oh, what happened now? Just in the DHS terminates temporary protected status for Yemen. Thousands told to go home or face arrest. Temporary protected status for Yemen was last extended by the Biden administration and former DH Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, who is a traitor and should be in prison. Originally intended for the fleeing civil war in 2015. After reviewing conditions in the country and consulting with appropriate U.S. government agencies, I determined that Yemen no longer meets the law's requirements to be designated for TPS. Allowing TPS Yemen beneficiaries to remain temporarily in the U.S. is contrary to our national interest. TPS was designed to be temporary, and this administration was returning TPS to its original temporary intent. We are prioritizing our national security interests and putting Americans first. Sounds good to me. DHS gave TPS beneficiaries from Yemen 60 days to self-deport or face deportation. After the effective date of determination, the Department of Homeland Security may arrest and deport any Yemeni national without status once their TPS has been terminated. If an alien forces DHS to arrest and remove them, they may never be allowed to return to the United States. About 3,000 Yemenis now face deportation. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services issued the following press release. Secretary of Homeland Security Chrissy Noem today announced the termination of TPS for Yemen. The termination is effective 60 days after the notice is published in the Federal Register. Yemen was initially designated for TPS on September 3rd, 2015, based on the determination that there was an ongoing armed conflict, and that due to the conflict requiring nationals of Yemen to return would pose a serious threat to their personal safety. Following the initial designation, DHS extended and redesignated Yemen for TPS in 2017, 2018, 2020, 2021, 2023, and 2024. After reviewing conditions and consulting with the agencies, I determined they no longer meet the law's requirements. Yemen beneficiaries will no longer have a lawful basis to remain in the U.S. and have 60 days to voluntarily depart. We encourage aliens to leave the United States to use the CBP Home app to report their departure from the United States. The app provides a safe, secure way to self-deport that includes a complimentary plane ticket, a $2,600 exit bonus, and a potential future opportunities for legal immigration. After the effective date of termination, the Department of Homeland Security may arrest and deport any Yemeni national whose status has been terminated. This comes amid the ongoing fight to terminate TPS for Haitian immigrants. As the Gateway Pundit reported, a federal judge earlier this month tried to block Homeland Security from ending TPS for 350 Haitians. The Justice Department has appealed the ruling to the Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit. Yeah, this crazy judge. He's already been overturned numerous times. Order stayed. Judge Reyes. Yeah. So there's that. Hey, we've been going for an hour. I just want to remind everybody that the show's going to go for at least another hour, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see what happens, unless we hit the goal. And we are currently $85 away from adding additional hour and $35 away from Belavision. So just keep that in mind. Let me do this, bookmarks, do this. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the stuff that was going on with all the that Jim is a silver-tongued with his introduction of Mayorkas. Anyway, the problem is that you didn't come to us, but immediately ran to the X on the House floor and made false accusations about 4 men while we were checking the facts. Because Ro Khanna, the problem is the DOJ sillily redacted names without explanation and refused to give context for the names once they redacted. This is why Rep. Tom Massey and I have been pushing for the full release of the files with context and protecting survivors. Thanks for reporting. Yeah, so the problem is instead of working with the DOJ, you're trying to get the DOJ, and you're not doing this because you care about the victims. That's right. Thomas Massey mentioned Epstein files 0 times on X during Biden administration. Based on advanced search, he started discussing it frequently after that period. Yeah. Because what happened was, why did the DOJ agree that none of these 6 men should have been redacted? They may have pressured the DOJ to redact, but it's the responsibility of the DOJ to follow the law no matter what pressure. Why is the DOJ acting like the victim here? Well, what happened was there was 4 men whose names, all right, were released by Ro Khanna and Tom Massey, who their names shouldn't have been released because damn it, where is it? Where is it? Come on, damn it. Damn it. Where is it? There it is. There it is. Ro Khanna and Tom Massey forced unmasking of completely random people selected years ago for an FBI lineup. So the FBI got 4 people to stand in a lineup with Epstein or something, and they released the names of these people that they put in the lineup like random people. And so they released these people's names and accused them of being co-conspirators of Epstein. This is a problem. This is why the shit's not supposed to be public. If you can't charge somebody and take it to court, you're not supposed to be releasing names of people that you investigated for something if you can't prove it. It's called like slander, defamation, all these things. Hey, okay, everyone, it's Friday. Let's pony up $5 to get an extra hour. I'll go first. Lisa is in already. Hey, sounds good to me. So yeah, man, these individuals have nothing to do with Epstein or Maxwell. And so here's Ro Khanna saying, last night, Rep. Massey and I forced the DOJ to disclose the identities of 6 men. And here's the names: Salvatore Nara, Zarub Mezazilig, Zolana Leonik, Ladov, Nicola Caputo, Sultan Ahmed bin Salayama, and billionaire businessman Leslie Wexner. I share details of what we learned to hold the Epstein case accountable. So here's him talking about it. Besides Wexner and the Sultan, those 4 people have nothing to do with Epstein. They were chosen to be in a lineup. Like to be extras in a lineup that had nothing to do with crimes. So those people should sue.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday, Congressman Massey and I went to the Department of Justice to read the unredacted Epstein files. We spent about 2 hours there, And we learned that 70 to 80% of the files are still redacted. In fact, there were 6 wealthy, powerful men that the DOJ hid for no apparent reason. When Congressman Massey and I pointed this out to the Department of Justice, they acknowledged their mistake, and now they have revealed the identity of these 6 powerful men. These men are Salvatore Navora, Zorab Mikoladze, Leopig Leonor, Nicola Caputa, Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, CEO of Dubai Ports World, and billionaire businessman Leslie Wexner, who was labeled as a co-conspirator by the FBI.
Now, the first 4 names, Kilo says, how do we know they had nothing to do with Epstein? Because they said that's why they had their names redacted, and then they were unredacted because Congress demanded it. Because they were people that were just selected to stand in a lineup with Epstein. That's it. Like when they get a guy like the movie Usual Suspects, where they line all the people up in a lineup to pick the people or whatever, or different thing, or they have a lineup they grab. A lot of times they use cops. They have other cops and stuff. Yeah, likely just cops to stick in a 6-pack. Yeah, I mean that's what they did. So I don't know. I mean that seems like hey, AZ Merce comes in with 10. Let's keep it going. Well, with that, we are now 75 away from the first additional hour and 25 away from Bellavision. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's way to go, man. Way to keep it going. Wow. And what about Gates and Clinton? Yeah, why aren't Gates and Clinton mentioned? I don't know. And Forging Freeman says, let's go, fans. Yes. Let's go. And so with that, we are now 70 away and 20 away. 70 away from the first additional hour and 20 away from Bellavision. Thank you all so much. That's so generous. I really appreciate it. So they've released definite proof that none of those names were anywhere else in the file. No, the 2 names were other places in the file. The 2 names, Leslie Wexner, I think everybody's known. Like, he gave Jeffrey Epstein a house and all this stuff. And then that Sultan, I'm sure, was up to some, who knows? I mean, you guys heard about Dubai Porta Potty, right? I mean, you know what that is? I mean, I'm sure there was some weird shit going on with those people. So that's what I would say. I remember in 2025, when I was still a liberal, finding out just how stupid he was. Yeah, this guy, Rokana, is pretty stupid. Reason it was done on the House floor is to ensure those people cannot sue this because of the speech and debate clause. Wexner's 88 and about to die. I don't care. Why aren't we focusing on active ones with the 150,000 missing kids? Yes, yeah. 2015. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yes, goats. Probably goats. Yeah, I don't know. So if they're not implicated, why not fully unredact the names and let the people see? Because you're not supposed to do that, Kilo. You're not supposed to. You're tarnishing people. You're putting out like this air, like a odor of mendacity or odor of there being something wrong. Like if they say, "Oh, we investigated this guy for murder," well, obviously you don't do that, because if you didn't charge him with murder and you have no, you can't prove it, you're not supposed to release names. They're never supposed to release grand jury stuff. Like, they're not supposed to do it. Like all this stuff happening like in DC, where immediately, if you've noticed, whenever some charges are going to be brought against Democrat politicians or these people, they're constantly like, immediately it's reported, oh, they refuse to indict, they refuse to do this. That's illegal. That's a felony to release that information. And they're still doing it because that's the protection. You're protecting the innocent. You know what I mean? You do not slander innocent people. If you cannot prove in court, if you can't indict, you shouldn't be even releasing that they were under investigation. That's why grand jury secrecy is important. That's why they're never supposed to say anything. Just because you're mentioned in an email doesn't mean you're guilty of a crime. Well, that's what they're basically doing. They're just picking names. Like, why not go after Reid Hoffman, who was at the island, who was at the house, who was doing all this stuff? Bill Gates, who was, trying to get, medication to give his wife so she wouldn't know he gave her an STD. Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, there's people to go after. Don't just pick random names just because, I've got names. I have no clue who they are, but let's just say these names. That's some messed up shit. That's some really, really messed up shit right there. So, yeah. So this is what they did. So they released all these names and did that. And here it is. Of those included in the lineup list were 4 of the 6 men that Mr. Massey and Kana referenced repeatedly, and were only included in that one document out of all the files. The other 2 men, Lex Wexner and Sultan bin Salihman, were unredacted in one document and are referenced in the files nearly 200 times and over 4,700 times, respectively. So 4,700 times. This has turned into a witch hunt. Oh, it has. It is. This is why investigations have taken place to see if an actual crime has been committed by an individual. Otherwise, their name is smeared forever. They might have done anything. Yeah. He says, I need help. I've watched a video of DHS arresting a woman who blocked the entrance to a building too many times. It's glorious. Oh, I like those videos. Why does the DOJ agree that none of these 6 men should have been redacted? They have pressured the DOJ to redact it, but the responsibility of the DOJ to follow the law no matter what applies pressure. Why is the DOJ acting like a victim? It was always a witch hunt. Yeah, and I think, personally, my opinion is all this stuff and these laws that they're passing where they want to, like, get rid of statutes of limitations, this is exactly what they did in New York for that E. Jean Carroll shit to go after Trump. Like, that's what they're planning to do on a national level. So then they can just, anytime there's a politician that they think is a danger to them or someone that can take them out, someone that can challenge them, they'll just have some crazy lady say, 40 years ago, he raped me. And so then they can bring charges or they can, smear him and sue and do all this stuff. Joe Rogan is in the files. Nobody calls him a pedo because he's not guilty. I've seen in the files. Don't be scared if you're not guilty. But you're not supposed to be smearing people, though. That's the thing. And there's another thing, too, Kilo, that a lot of the shit that's in the files was entered after Epstein was dead. People making anonymous tips and stuff. It's all really, 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 really fucky, man, in my opinion. While they defamed innocent men, damn, where did I hear this before? Oh, Trump worries about innocent people being hurt as Congress gets the Epstein's files. Yeah. I have seen many of the accusers were 21, 22 at the time. So someone is smearing these dudes without proof. I don't think that's all right. No. Yeah. It's a good and distraction from the election investigations. Yeah, no, it's why did none of these people care about Epstein before Trump was elected? What made these people? Even Alex Jones called this a tar baby. Yeah, you're going to get stuck to it, and it's going to get all over you. Tommy, I actually said on national TV that 4 of the men might be men in a lineup, but you released them anyway. Maybe you should have checked with your folks first and provided some context instead of trying to beat my TV appearance and blaming us. Oh. Here's Massey, CNN's source. We need the DOJ to admit that these men listed as co-conspirators in their own files. Oh, here's Massey saying these men are co-conspirators. Let's see. So this right here, Massey saying this here on CNN is not protected by the speech and debate clause. CNN could get sued for this also.
The Justice Department previously said, we did not redact any names of men, only female victims. You're saying you saw men's names redacted today, though.
I did. I saw 4 in a list of 20. The other people on the list were Maxwell, Epstein, and mostly survivors that I recognized. And then 4 men who weren't trafficked because their date of birth predates 1970. Like they were all born in the 60s.
And you see no reason why those men's names are redacted in these files?
No, unless they were in some random lineup. But this requires the DOJ to respond to it, just like they responded to my 2 tweets tonight about the Sultan, who had heretofore not been known, and about Lex Wessner, who is in the files listed as a co-conspirator on the file that they unredacted tonight.
The Justice Department previously said, we did not redact.
Well, Lex Wexner sounds like he might have a problem. And this is good news, right? This is some positive news. Greg Abbott, it's a distraction from following up on the fraud as well. Probably, yeah, it's a distraction. That he signed a law criminalizing paid in-person ballot harvesting in elections. Why not just ban all ballot harvesting? Why didn't Massey care during Biden's term? Yeah. There wasn't a single tweet prior to Trump being sworn in from Massey about Epstein at all? Is it something to do with his new wife, his new hairdo? This new hip shit. I mean, who knows? And so he signed a law, and a trial court ruled against him. Today, the Federal Court of Appeals overturned the erroneous ruling and allowed the law to take effect. Yeah, see, so it's happening everywhere. The judicial insurrection is ongoing. Ballot harvesting is a crime in Texas. We will win the fight and stop illegal voting and cheating at the ballot box. The Fifth Circuit has upheld a Texas law that criminalizes paid in-person ballot harvesting, reversing a district court injunction and allowing the law to take effect. In accordance with the constitutional design that aspires to maintain free and secure elections, Texas enacted SB 1 in 2021. The statute curtails various activities that incentivize vote fraud and intimidation. Its provisions are being serially litigated before the district court for reasons that are not obvious considering the similarities of parties, issues, and witnesses. Before this panel is a provision to prevent professionally conducted ballot harvesting. The district court erred in facially striking down this provision and entering an injunction against state officials in violation of their sovereign immunity. Accordingly, the district court judgment is reversed. Writing for a unanimous panel, Judge Jones finds that SB 1 is not unconstitutionally vague under the 14th Amendment, survives First Amendment review under the Anderson-Burdick balancing test or strict scrutiny, and that the district court violated the principles of sovereign immunity by granting an injunction against state officials. Read the ruling here. That's good. But is that a win for my tribe? Had to. That was wild. It's a start, but the law doesn't actually target voter intimidation or harassment. If it did, it would ban intimidating behavior regardless of compensation. Instead, it specifically targets organized voter assistance programs that pay workers to do outreach. That's not outreach. It's not fucking outreach. It's not outreach. It's not outreach. All right, let's do this. I got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. So check this out. This is the Attorney General of Florida, who I have to say, arguably bigger than the COOF. Ballot harvesting is illegal, but try proving it. This is the biggest story since the Big Nine. Is the second most mentioned person. I think the count is 2,600 times. I don't know. Why is Massey hanging out on CNN? Because he's a shitbag. Oddly enough, Reid Hoffman is one that funded E.G. Carroll against Trump, and he's all over the Epstein files. Yeah, isn't it crazy? Yeah. He funded the lawsuits there. He's funded a bunch of other stuff. It's crazy. Massey didn't ask for any release during Biden times. I looked and asked Grok. This is straight TDS. It is. Yeah. So Ahmad Jihad Bohej murdered 3 tourists because state attorney Worrell released the attempted murderer in 2022. Now, this is an attorney who's like, I believe, either Tampa, Orlando area in Florida, who was removed by DeSantis, because the governor has the power to remove a district attorney, a state's attorney, who's not doing their job correctly and not following the law. He can remove them, and she was removed. And then the fucking idiots, because that area is woke, destroyed, has weird, like a weird blue area, reelected her after she was removed. So she's continuing to just refuse to follow the law and let people go. Florida cannot have prosecutors stipulate to facts from a defense expert and let the guy walk free. We must keep violent criminals away from our families. Let's see here. Calls for insanity. Yeah, so this was a guy that did a bunch of killed 3 people, and then defense experts, the person's crazy. Just let him go. He's crazy.
Well, let's remember, the last case did not go to a jury. When juries look at this, they rarely accept these bogus insanity defenses. I mean, somebody that goes out and kills 3 people, total strangers, and kills them, who's really going to say that's a sane person? I understand there are people that do have mental defects, that have capacity issues. Where that's the case, we've proposed at the state of Florida that they not be released early. They still complete their entire sentence, but they do so in a mental facility, a barred hospital. We're not letting these people out. So that, he was let out on attempted murder. Thankfully, he missed that time. Then he goes and kills 3 people. We just going to let this guy out again because he claims he's insane? This is wrong. We see this across the country. We recently interdicted an individual in Ocala, Central Florida. He had stabbed a 6-year-old boy in Kentucky multiple times in the head, killing him. And then he was allowed out in 7 or 8 years. So he came down to Florida where he had some family, and he got a residence right across the street from an elementary school. That's what we're dealing with in this country right now. Just before Christmas, an elderly woman in Palm Beach, North Palm Beach, shopping at a Barnes & Noble, a random guy gets off a Greyhound bus from out of state, has a bunch of priors, stabs her. Again, total stranger, kills her at Christmas time. People have to be safe to go to a bookstore in Palm Beach County in a safe area. So we need to change this law. We need to make sure people that are found legitimately to have mental defects, under the Constitution, we cannot impose the death penalty if that finding has been made, but they should be locked up forever. We cannot risk our kids, our families being subjected to evil and violence. And we should not have state attorneys stipulating to these facts based on some expert that the defense attorney found. It was not a jury.
It's insane. It is insane. And speaking of insane,
Well, let's remember the last.
I have another one that I thought was extremely. Here's another one right here. So, government officials in Cuyahoga County, which is in Ohio, questioned a 5-year-old about their sexual orientation, then tracked whether the parents supported it. Yes. Cuyahoga County, Ohio, questioned a 5-year-old about their sexual orientation, and then tracked whether the parents supported that. I guess sometimes your number is just up. Hope she didn't spend much on the books she will never read. Ooh. Oh, that's a 5-year-old. This is insanity. So he's got a bill to put a stop to it.
Representative Williams said, you talked about, this instance of a 5-year-old, and from what you said, the family was supportive of the child's expressed view. So that case wouldn't be what the bill's meant to address?
Yeah, I was quoting all of the news reports that have been out there. What's concerning to me is that, one, there was a conversation with a 5-year-old about their sexual orientation. A 5-year-old. We got kids that aren't even kindergarten ready, but we're having conversations with them about their sexual orientation at 5? There's concerns there. Just the conversation alone, there's concerns there. It's not concerns about whether or not the parents are affirming or not, but here's the question. If they asked a 5-year-old about their sexual orientation, it just so happened that the parents were affirming, according to Cuyahoga County, that's great. What happened if the parents weren't? Are you removing a 5-year-old from the custody of their children because you don't affirm a child's sexual orientation at 5? The answer is no governmental agency should have that authority, period. That's non-debatable. That's not a partisan issue. That's an 80-20 issue that the voters support us on. No parent should have their constitutionally protected rights taken away to raise their children as they see fit simply because their 5-year-old has been taught that there's a such thing as having a sexual orientation to the same gender. That's absurd.
Yeah, I like this guy too. He's a Republican, and he doesn't look. I don't know. He looks dark to me. I don't know. I was told that Republicans were all racist. I don't know. I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of this anymore. I don't know what's going on anymore. No 5-year-old has a sexual orientation. Human sexuality doesn't start to develop until puberty begins around 10 to 15. Official questioning of a 5-year-old determined sexual orientation is a predator. Stop sexualizing children. Leave the kids alone. The mother of a trans was just murdered in Tumbler Ridge, Canada, along with his brother and 5 children, 12 years old, and a teacher. He was 18, dropped out of school at 14. His mom was supportive and affirming, and he murdered her too. Yeah, that's what's happening. And wouldn't you know? All right, wouldn't you know that that the people in Canada are blaming? It's everyone else's fault that the guy dressed up as a woman decided to kill people. It wasn't. It's not that he's still the victim. The trans killer is still the victim because he's trans and people were bullying him, and that's why he did it. That's what the people in Canada are saying. What, number one? Okay, I see a white guy. Okay, Scott Wiener in California, piece of shit, should not be allowed to walk down the street. He's a debased predator, 100%. Oh yes, definitely. Someone needs to say that talking to kids about their sexuality is an attempt to solicit. It should be. Yes, it should definitely agree. D. Canada is toast. Canada literally affirmed the shooter's gender after he shot all those kids. Yeah, that was crazy. Like, we don't want to misgender this person. Which we'll get to that in a second. I'm going to try to just go. This is going to be in the order that I and I clicked on them, so because I don't want to keep scrolling back and forth. But so Stephen Miller on Minnesota. With this agreement, those jails and prisons are no longer going to obey the unlawful edict issued by Keith Ellison. Instead, they're going to follow federal law and hand over the criminal illegal aliens. So let's show. I hope it's not like it's not like that Todd Lyons said earlier, where it's just like
the corrupt Attorney General Keith Ellison in Minnesota issued an edict unlawfully requiring all jails and prisons in the state to shield, harbor, and conceal criminal illegal aliens from ICE. And so with this agreement, those jails and those prisons are no longer going to obey the unlawful edict issued by Keith Ellison. Instead, they're going to follow federal law, the supreme law of the land, and hand over those criminally illegal aliens. But let's just take a moment to celebrate the fact that because of President Trump, because of ICE, because of Border Patrol, thousands of pedophiles, rapists, gangbangers, killers, murderers, the true, most violent people on the planet have been removed from the state of Minnesota. Kids are safer, families are safer, communities are safer. There's a reason why murder in this country is the lowest rate on record. There's a reason why we have seen the largest ever reduction in violent crime. It's because President Trump has unleashed federal law enforcement, including ICE, including Border Patrol, to find, identify, remove, or incarcerate the drivers of violent crime in this country. And now thousands of lives are being saved as a result.
That's awesome. Isn't that awesome? And then LaRaza for Trump says, in my opinion, we should have never allowed gay marriage, civil union, sure, whatever. History has proven gay marriage was in fact a slippery slope. Now they want to ban parts of the Bible as hate speech. That's crazy. Kilo says, I am sick of this shit. Give me a green card to USA, please. I will give you advice, all right? If you're Canadian and you're conservative, you could apply for political asylum to the U.S. Say you're being persecuted by the communist government of Canada. Why not? Say the government of Canada is persecuting you. Ask for asylum. Why not? Slippery slope. I get it. Most Canadians are outraged at the circumstances surrounding the Tumbler Ridge murders. Yes, they are. Lara, a soap in shower slippery. Yes. Yes. But our government is a Fabian socialist. Yes, it's a communist. Say it's a communist government. Totalitarian communist government. How can any sanctuary jurisdiction exist with 8 U.S.C. 1324 being the law of the land? Lock them up. That's what I say. I love Stephen Miller, especially even when secretly wishes they had a bulldog like Stephen Miller. No way. SOGI in British Columbia School stands for Sexual Orientation and Gender Identity and refers to an inclusive curriculum. It can be introduced to students as early as grade 4. So Cardi B jokingly threatened to jump ICE at her concert, whatever that means. And they said, as long as she doesn't drug and rob our agents, we'll consider that an improvement over her past behavior. Which I don't know, whatever. So a man on TikTok appears to call for public assassination of multiple Republican officials. I hope their Americans will accept me. They don't take too kindly to Canadians these days. Oh, no. We will accept all refugees, political refugees coming from communist countries willingly. Yes, we'll take them in. When a kid in school starts showing deviation towards perversion, they should contact police and ask who touched you. It shouldn't be affirmed as a good thing or normal. Definitely. Political asylum for Canadians that haven't lost their mind. I'm all for it. Yeah. I think Trump even floated political asylum for Canadians. So he named Stephen Miller, J.D. Vance, Pam Bondi, Trump, and many more. This person needs to be immediately investigated by the FBI and DHS. So, I mean, I don't know. This guy looks like a crazy person. Just look at him. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. I'm telling you.
We would really only have to take out 3 or 4 of them publicly for the rest of them to fall in line.
Wow. Take out. Salty Cracker says that terrorist group that doesn't exist just killed another person. Wow, what do you know? More than 40 Antifa members beat a young French conservative to death in France. He was on the security staff protecting Collectif Nemesis, an organization campaigning for women's safety. Antifa killed him. I don't know. Is this going to show it? Because I don't want to see a snuff film or nothing. That's crazy. What happened here unless Trump administration gets serious about what day it is? That also means clearing out the judiciary who are collectively committing an insurrection. I agree with that. People think I'm joking when I talk about the left. This is a great channel. If you guys don't know who Actual Justice Warrior Sean Fitzgerald is, great channel, great channel, great videos he puts out. Yeah, the left thinking criminals are just the victims of society, but ridiculous mindset extends to mass murders as well. Yeah, here we go. This is the story I was talking about. So here, and Calgary Herald says that you can't blame people for mental health. Neighbors don't see the Tumbleweed shooter as a criminal, but as a victim. Yes. And the media knew Trudeau and many other Quebec politicians were full-on Fabians and said nothing back in the 60s. I never heard about the U.S. being against the Canadian people, but the government. Yeah, we're not against the Canadian people. The government is a commie government. It's got to go. Yeah, no more Canadians in Florida. We have enough. Yeah, mullet head, man. Just pay the $5 million and we'll accept you. It's not $5 million. I think we might get Alberta. These folks are totally unstable. We have dark thoughts from time to time, but the fact that these people get on social media and just say the quiet part out loud is terrifying. Pay $5 million. Nah, that's the $5 million is different. It's from that's from other parts of the world, other people that want to come here, not people seeking true political asylum because they're being persecuted by the communist government that took all their rights away, won't let them talk, all this stuff. So these are, let's see here. Here's the story. You can't blame people for mental health. Neighbors don't see Tumbleweed shooter as a criminal, but as a victim. Honestly, worth it. You can feel very bad about what they did, but they didn't get up in the morning thinking with the sane mind that they're going to do this. So they're just making excuses. Like, they're saying insane, so no one... just like Epstein girls who took money to bring other girls, they're just victims. Yeah, that one girl that they're shouting out and all this stuff. She was listed as a co-defendant with Epstein. She got immunity for testifying against him because she brought like 20 underage girls to Epstein for $200 a pop. So she's not a victim. She's a co-conspirator. She's a criminal. So these people live 3 doors away from the mass shooter who killed 5 students. So David and Linda LaRocque and a granddaughter Maya LaRocque live 3 doors away from the mass shooter. Where's the parents of Maya? I wonder. Where's the parents of Maya? That they live with the grandparents. It's a good question, right? 13-year-old Maya LaRocque was in her art class Tuesday at Tumble Ridge Secondary School. Then the warning came for students to take cover, and she hid with classmates in a closet as 18-year-old Jesse Van Rootsuller went on a rampage, killing 5 students and a teacher in the school. So someone on heavy drugs did a shooting, and his mom needs to be investigated too. He murdered the mom and his brother first. And the mom was a crazy leftist protect trans kid weirdos. Canada is libtard central. You wouldn't believe it if you saw it. It's like libtard crack smoking dystopia. It's communist. It's communism is what it is. I mean, Trudeau was legitimately the son of Castro. Van Rostetler wasn't known to LaRocque. She lived just 3 doors down from LaRocque on Feller Street in this coal mining and outdoor adventure town. That's right. It was an outdoor adventure town. So it was like, it's a different kind of town. On Thursday, standing alongside her grandparents and legal guardians, she tearfully recounted the terrifying hours spent in the school. We heard big bangs. And because her cell phone was in a bin, she had no way to contact her family. When the all clear was given, the students had to leave the school hands on head, where they were gathered in a staging area. She had no way of telling her grandparents that she was safe. The media found a few nuts for the quote. I doubt most of the town folk have any pity for the murderer. I hope not. Are you talking about the Canadian shooter? It was upsetting, scary, shocking, and LaRocque knew all the victims. Her grandparents said they were almost feel selfish in being happy that LaRocque was spared, knowing that other families in the community are suffering through such powerful grief. I knew all of them from school or sports, LaRocque said. They didn't deserve that. They were so young. You can actually go to the police to get some to smoke. In Canada, you can legally smoke crack. True. Oh, my God. But despite the terror that Maya and her schoolmates faced that day, the LaRocque said that they feel sympathy for Van Rootsuller, who killed her mother. It's not a her, it's a him. Killed his mother, It's a man. A man in a dress is still a man. What's the shooter? The laughing kid? Yeah, it's that kid that made the crazy videos. Yeah, Jim already said it. The Canadian shooter shot his mother and stepbrother before he went to school. Yeah. Yep. And then who killed his mother, Jennifer Strang, and his stepbrother, Emmett Jacobs, in the Fellers Avenue home before going to school. Van Rootseller committed suicide after the rampage, and they worry for the 3 other children who lived in the Strang Van Rootseller home. I would worry about the kids that were living, what happened to those kids prior? What was going on in that house prior to this? It's been just 48 hours after the shots rang out in the school and still so fresh and awful in the community. Driving through the town, a woman is seen walking a dog with a group when she doubled over and began to weep as an ambulance drove by. Residents laying flowers or stuffed animals at the makeshift memorial downtown not only refused to speak to the media crews, they don't spare them dirty looks or shakes of the head. So the people that aren't crazy like these people are like, get the fuck away from me. I'm not talking to you. And these people are like, oh yeah, I feel sorry for these people. He was crazy. We can't take it out on them. And he's the victim. British Columbia Premier David Abbey and Public Safety Minister Nina Krieger visited the memorial Thursday, quietly leaving bouquets behind. But despite that pall that hangs over Tumbler Ridge, the LaRoques have found the capacity to forgive. They forgive. They're going to need love and support of this community just as much as the families who lost children. Single mother, she was nuts. Yeah. An absolute possessed maniac. Yeah. You can't blame people for mental health. You don't blame them for the mental health, but you blame the people who enabled it. Like, here's the thing. If someone goes to the doctor and says that there's bugs crawling all over them and they're going crazy, the doctor doesn't go, here, take this razor blade and peel the bugs off you. Because that's what they're doing with these people that go in and say, like, I'm a different gender. That's what they're doing. They're enabling the insanity instead of trying to fix it. But they didn't get up that morning thinking with the sane mind that they're going to do this. Oh, how do you know? How do you know? No, you blame them for shooting the kids. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, you blame them. What's up, Eastwood Farms? How you doing? Great to see you. As neighbors, they were aware that there were mental health issues and calls for help from the house 3 doors down. Wait, a minute ago, they said that they didn't know the person that lived 3 doors down. Common meth symptom. The warning signs were there. It's impossible to get help. There is nobody here, even in the region, even in Fort St. John, and Prince George doesn't have the resources. It's just 6 hours away. So it's the government's fault. The government didn't do enough. The government didn't do enough. The Gibbs meet at society didn't get enough from the government. The medical experts and medical supports don't exist here. His mom defended his behavior and felt sorry for him, and now she's dead. Well, she got what she deserved. On Wednesday, Mayor Derek Krawaka confirmed that with the looming departure of a doctor, the area will be down 1.5 full-time equivalents when it comes to MDs. Oh my God. They'll be down one doctor left, and they're down 1.5 doctors. David and Linda LaRoque have lived around the world. David grew up in Jasper Place in Edmonton, and he and his wife called Malta, Singapore, and Saudi Arabia home at various times in their lives. Maybe he was in the oil industry or something like that in all those places. We knew people who were shot in Saudi Arabia. In 2012, the LaRoques began working with the local coal mine, and they were hooked on the natural beauty of Tumbler Ridge, as well as the safety of the community offered. Well, it doesn't seem that safe anymore, does it? You blame police that don't act after dozens of warnings. The BC government will promise action and demand tyranny. Hey, look at this. Let's see the star of the show. Thank you, David. With that, Daniel. I don't know why I said David. We will add Bella to the stage. Bella, make your way to the main stage. Yay. Wow, look at that. That's crazy. Wow. Crazy. There's Bella. And with that, that means we are now 50 away from the first additional hour of the show. Thank you so much for that. And then it looks like my friend Low Watermark comes in and says, make Jim give you 1 more hour.
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
And with that, folks, we hit the goal of the first additional hour and a little bit more, because that 70 came in before the 20, or, came in like right on top of the 20. Thank you so much, Mark. So with that, we are now 80 away from the second additional hour of the show. So thank you all so much. So much. It's not Jim. Thank you. Gagax, thank you. Thanks, Gagax. Yay. Thanks. Who's telling? Yo, dang, what a legend. Wow, thank you. Bella, the watermark, thanks. Thank you. Big Bella's alert. Yeah. Wow, the watermark. The watermark off the top rope. What did I walk into? Thank you, Mark. It's so generous. No, nothing. We're talking about the shooting, the trans shooting, and then they found some neighbors to say how it's, the trans person is the actual victim, not the victims. It's the Canadian trans shooter. Yeah, so that's where that is with that. And so let me make myself a little bit bigger. There we go. Is that better? I think that's better, maybe. I don't know. That seems pretty good. I like that. I like that. I like that. Oh, Bella moved. I'm trying to hang off the side over there. So, what is it with these trannies? Well, I think it's a they have a mental health problem. They have mental illness. They think they're the wrong gender. And they pump them full of all types of drugs. Like, I believe this person was on like a bunch of like SSRIs along with the hormones and the other, all types of shit, like different stuff, mood stabilize, different things. And you can't mix all this shit together and not expect people to go crazy. Welcome to the funniest show on YouTube. Hey, Forging Freedom, great to see you here. So, until a few days ago, we thought this was the safest place we can find to raise our grandchildren. We know about violence. We know about having to take precautions for terrorism, but this wasn't terrorism. This was about mental health. It's a different ball of string. Oh, okay. It wasn't terrorism. Okay. Police still, Jim, you have to be crazy to be trans. Yes, you do, but that doesn't make an excuse. The CBC will eventually say at least she wasn't a white supremacist. Well, at least he wasn't a white supremacist because it's not a she. It's not a she. Not a she. Oh, it's funny that at the top of a T intersection, so the intersection of T, trans. Thursday, a white-clad forensic team was on the front lawn of the shooter's residence taking 3D scans of the home and surrounding Fellers Avenue area. At the top of the T intersection, a few houses away, the shooter's home, William Bursey watched from his driveway. Bursey has lived in Tumbler Ridge for a year and has been around guns for most of his life, and what happened 2 days ago isn't going to change his opinion about firearms. It's not the guns, he said. It's the finger that pulls the trigger. Yeah, that's reasonable. He said he saw people regularly come in and out of Strang Van Rutler home, but nothing ever registered in his mind as suspicious. You'd think you'd pay attention, but you really don't. Bursey recalled that on Tuesday, his son came to the house with news that downtown was full with cops. His son was urged by police to get away from the core and take shelter in a safe place, and that's why he chose to return to his father's home, which is located less than 100 meters from the shooter's residence. Lives have been lost, and others' lives have been changed forever. So LaRoque's struggles with scars on Tuesday. The parents of the students at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School are also struggling. Today, our community continues to grieve following the tragic shooting at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School. Wrote PAC Chair Nicole Naksana in an email. Naksana is also a member of the Tumbler Ridge District Council. Lives have been lost, others have been changed forever, and our hearts remain with the families and community as a whole. In a close-knit community like Tumbler Ridge, this loss is deeply felt by all of us. Parents, staff, students, and community members are navigating shock and sorrow. We remain incredibly grateful to the RCMP, first responders, and healthcare professionals, and most of all, the school staff who acted swiftly and courageously in the face of tragedy. I can see children like him getting upset. He probably never expected grown adults to be so demonic as to encourage him to such self-destruction. He is ultimately still responsible, as are the commies, yes. How many trans shooters does this make now? I think we might be up to 7. I think it's more like 20. It goes back a while. That wasn't the Pulse nightclub shooter like a trans weird? Like, I know he was gay, but wasn't he also trans? And then you had that other weirdo in Colorado. It was 2 or 3 in Colorado, Nashville, Wisconsin, Minnesota. Now this. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. The PAC has set up a GoFundMe fundraiser. There are several GoFundMe pages that are set up to benefit the Tumble Ridge residents. Oh, well, that make it okay if you get a GoFundMe. This incident reminds me of Sandy Hook. That kid was on SSRIs also and also shot his mother before he went to school. Yeah. If you add in known incels, who knows? You never know. Please continue to check in on one another, especially our children. The emotional impact of this tragedy will be lasting. So that's that. Let's go back to this now. We got this story. An activist judge just released 4 illegal aliens, all right, convicted of murder and sex crimes, stating that their crimes were irrelevant to his decision to release them. What happened when more Americans are murdered or raped as a result of his decision? I think there's another post with a different story about this. Let me look real quick. Thought I saw it somewhere else. Or is that it? No, that's it. All right. That's the story. I thought it was on a Gateway Pundit for some reason. Federal judge releases 4 illegal immigrants convicted of murder, sex crimes from ICE custody. Judge John D. Gravales freed 4 illegal immigrants despite final deportation orders dating back decades.
The Department of Homeland Security trains a lot of federal agents already, and different agencies have body cameras that they wear already. CBP has many officers that already had body cameras on them. The problem was having the resources to get them on every agent and every officer that's out there, and then having the resources to do the analysts and the storage of those videos and who can help us really utilize them. But our officers want this, and the people want it. They want the relationship with their communities to know all of the information that we need to have during these situations of conflict and violence. And we've seen that can be very helpful in making sure that people know the truth of a situation and that we can get people help as soon as possible.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. So a federal judge in Louisiana has released 4 illegal aliens with lengthy rap sheets that include convictions for murder, child sex crimes from law enforcement custody earlier this month. Judge John D. Gravales, an Obama appointee who sits on the bench for the Middle District Court of Louisiana, granted the 4 defendants release from ICE custody. The ramification will only be continued rape, murder, assaults, and robbery of more American victims. Releasing these monsters is inexcusably reckless. President Trump and Nome are now enforcing the law and arresting illegal aliens who have no legal right to be in the country. Like, I don't understand this. I don't. Like, how is this even possible? We are applying the law as written. If an immigration judge finds a legal alien has no right to be in the country, they are going to remove them. The 4 defendants include Ibrahim Ali Muhammad, an Ethiopian citizen convicted of sexual exploitation of a minor. An immigration judge issued him a final order of removal on September 5th, 2024. He was released into the United States by the Biden administration. Here's Judge Gravales. What do you know? Look at him. Luis Gaston Sanchez from Cuba has convictions for homicide, assault, resisting an officer, concealing stolen property, and 2 counts of robbery. An immigration judge issued his deportation order September 24th, 2001. Ricardo Blanco Comat, also a Cuban citizen, has convictions for homicide, kidnapping, and aggravated assault with a firearm, burglary, robbery, larceny, selling cocaine. Deportation order for him was issued March 27th, 2022. And Francisco Rodriguez Romero was previously convicted of homicide and weapons offenses. He was ordered to be deported in 1995.
consumers are on the move, and it's your job to keep up. What if your curiosity could propel?
Let's bring in now criminal defense attorney and federal litigator Vic Bajaj, along with the author of the new book, Lawless Lawfare, Washington Times legal affairs reporter Alex Swoyer. Good to see you both. Thank you. Vic, this appears on the face of it to be pretty simple. No more injunctions. The president can instigate whatever policies he wants. Is it that simple?
It is that simple, but it took 119 pages of decisions and words and explanations to get to that obvious result. And the reason, Jonathan, I say it's obvious is because Article 3 gives this exact authority to district judges, not to give injunctions to people who are not in front of them. Article 3 says, hey, as a federal judge, you can do what you want as long as there's a case or a controversy, a person in front of you that's going to be affected by that decision. It's no miracle that we have only 4 or 5 district judges around the nation that have issued these monumental injunctions to stand in the way of the election and what Donald Trump was elected to do. It is, to answer your question, very simple, but it took a long time to get here.
Alex, Democrats, some of them, not surprisingly, very disturbed by this. Chuck Schumer among them, writing on X, quote, by weakening the power of district courts to check the presidency, the court is not defending the Constitution, it's defacing it.
What the fuck is this story doing on this that's from June? What is Fox News doing? What the fuck is Fox News up to, man? In September 2025, DHS announced a partnership with Louisiana to expand ICE detention space at the Louisiana State Penitentiary, also known as Angola. I use grounds beautification at Angola. The facility, dubbed the Louisiana Lockup, houses some of the criminal legal immigrants arrested by ICE. Fox News Digital reached out to the Middle District for comment. So I don't know why that was there. Hey, Vince is here. Good evening, everybody. Sexual frustration can be a big motivator. If you keep up with politics here, they indoctrinate these sickos. It's institutional. God help us. Twitter is a clusterfuck. Yeah. Hey, Vince. Remember, kids, if you ever end someone's living status, identify yourself as illegal and you'll be back home by lunch. I guess. What's up, Vince? Great to see you. Hey, everybody. I actually went to Motorola Axion training for those things. Quite a backlog on removals. It seems like it, right? So those guys were so bad that the Clinton and Biden administration knew they had to go. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Breaking news on a Nancy Guthrie story. 2 people, a man and a woman, taken into custody by SWAT in Arizona. Confusing the narrative. I guess. I don't know what they're doing. That story, to me, just seems so weird. The Nancy Guthrie story. So, let me see. Okay, so here's from The Wrap. I don't know what this is. Bella Belly, yeah. It says, the Pima County Sheriff's Department previously released an individual after detaining them for questioning on Tuesday. SWAT team conducts operation at Tucson home. The Pima County SWAT team descended on a Tucson neighborhood Friday evening in connection with the Nancy Guthrie investigation. The Pima County Sheriff told the media that the neighborhood, which is located about 5 minutes away from Nancy's house, was blocked off as officials conducted an operation tied to the disappearance of Today's Show's host's mother, who's been missing for 13 days. Update comes as a Pima County Sheriff's Chris Nanos said Thursday that more detainments tied to the case were likely as officials were combing through thousands of tips, including calls and messages. Additionally, investigators reached out to Nancy's neighbors for doorbell footage, asking them to provide surveillance from specific dates tied to the investigation. The Pima County Sheriff's Department also confirmed located several items of evidence, including black gloves, which were submitted for DNA analysis. On Friday, investigators in the Nancy Guthrie case disclosed they're working to identify unknown DNA found at the Tucson property belonging to Nancy. The FBI shared Thursday afternoon that they could confirm the suspect's height and backpack he was carrying in previously released Nest camera footage. They upped the reward to $100,000. The suspect is described as a male, approximately 5'9", 5'10", with an average build. FBI Phoenix wrote on X. In the video, he is wearing a black 25-liter Ozark Trail Hiker backpack. We hope this updated description will help concentrate the public tips we are receiving. Since February 1st, the FBI has collected over 13,000 tips from the public related to the case. Savannah issued a statement Thursday, penning an optimistic message. Our lovely mom, we will never give up on her. Thank you for your prayers and hope. So Nancy was last seen on the evening of January 31st when the family dropped her off at her home after a dinner and game night. However, by late midday Sunday, Nancy was reported missing after her not attending church. In the days following, several media outlets, including TMZ and local Tucson news stations, reported receiving ransom notes demanding millions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency. On Tuesday evening, both TMZ and K-Gun reported that there was activity in the Bitcoin account tied to the alleged ransom notes. Savannah and her siblings, Annie and Cameron, made multiple public pleas to Nancy's captors, stating they would pay the demands while begging for their mother's safe return. We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so we can celebrate with her. It's the only way we will have peace. It's very valuable to us and we will pay. That's the breaking news thing that I got. I mean, that's it. That was all it was here. It just says SWAT team conducts a raid. I don't see anything about people being arrested. I mean, that says 28 minutes ago. Unless it's on X. This is on X. Let me see. Let me see. I don't see any. This is just saying. I don't know. I don't see anything. Oh, this just says cops pulled 2 people from home during a raid. All right. Jim, I just received $2 million in my Bitcoin wallet. Well, that's awesome. Is Bella doing better? No, she's still sick. They're going to release a written statement soon. Source on that story was the Gateway Pundit. Where? It is weird. Something's not right in Arizona. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. I don't know what's going on. So, road closed near Guthrie home. Is this a report? Cops pull man and woman from home during SWAT raid on property hunt for Guthrie.
Restless partner keeping you awake? At Mattress Firm, our sleep experts can match you with a better mattress, like the
Authorities closed a road in Tucson amid a swap operation at Guthrie's home.
So is it basically the same shot?
I don't know. So, cops pull a man and woman. 2 people have reportedly been pulled from a house in Marana, Arizona, by Pima County Sheriff's SWAT team in a huge raid Friday, and a search for Nancy Guthrie intensified. Officials detained 3 people following the operation. So now it's 3 people detained, not 2. The home they are at is owned by an assistant attorney general, but the word is it's an Airbnb. Oh, that's funny. The home in question is the only location police are focusing on. A statement will be coming shortly. A source claimed to Fox News that the judge issued a warrant for the search. The raid saw officers surround the property located 1.9 miles from the missing 84-year-old's home and pull a man and woman from the residence, News Nation reported. TMZ reported that the individuals appeared to be a mother and son who surrendered voluntarily. It's understood the traffic stop is also connected to the search, nearby traffic stop. Let's see, News Nation, it says. Let's see, News Nation. Let's see. Active SWAT situation in Nancy Guthrie search as one person detained. So let's see here.
Conducted maybe several hours after his interview. I could be wrong. Maybe something developed. But what should we be taking away from that? Is that standard say, listen, we can't rule out anybody. We can't say anything until we, catch the person or person, see if...
Oh, this is live. I don't want to watch live. So audio coming soon. So SWAT operation Friday, Pima County. SWAT members swarmed a home near Guthrie's neighborhood. Part of a search execution ordered by ordered two individuals, a man and a woman, to come out. Both complied. Location. There's no press briefing scheduled for tonight regarding it. Not sure. All right. They learned the Pima County Sheriff's Office airplane was in the air Friday afternoon, a move that be safe for both search and rescue operations and area surveillance. Around the same time, the aircraft launched a mobile command center was seen leaving the sheriff's office. Exclusive traffic stop footage. FBI zeroing on a suspect. FBI zeroing on a description of the person they said kidnapped the 84-year-old. A crew of pool cleaners was able to access the home on Friday, escorted in by the sheriffs. But there has otherwise been less activity at the house than in previous days. Authorities say suspect is 5'10" tall. So there's that. All right, let's go back to this. All right. Rachel Maddow has been targeting this facility for weeks on Blue Sky. Yes, there's a facility. I want to show you a story about this woman. A woman sets fire to a warehouse. All right. Rumored to be an ICE detention center in Kansas City, Missouri. So this is terrorism right here. This is an act of terrorism. A woman tries to set fire at South Kansas warehouse that has been rumored as a possible ICE detention center. This would be an act of terrorism. Like she should spend 20 years in prison for this. This is arson and terrorism. It's the top story on the Gateway Pundit. Okay, I'll look for it in a second. Intel Point Alert also reporting. Alex Stein reported Savannah's husband used to work as an internet scrubber, and the Clintons was one of his customers. Yeah, he is if I'm not mistaken, there is some ties supposedly between Savannah Guthrie's husband and some very unsavory people. Maybe Epstein had something to do with Nancy's kidnapping. Yeah, what are the odds? That was so freaking funny. Yeah. There was a thing I saw. I don't know. So this is crazy. All right. This is crazy. We'll never solve this problem. Say, batshit crazy liberal white women are destroying America. Yes, they are. So, yeah. So Rachel Maddow has been targeting this facility for 2 weeks on Blue Sky. So has the Democrat mayor. Yeah. Brutal column in the Kansas City Star about the local real estate company trying to avoid public scrutiny for selling ICE a property for a massive prison camp. So Rachel Maddow, here's the mayor saying, they released a statement following the I-49 Industrial Center property proposed for an ICE mass detention facility. I'm aware of the recent release from a Kansas City firm regarding a distribution facility that has been rumored as a target for a mass ICE detention encampment for up to 10,000 persons. While Kansas City welcomes any news suggesting the halting of a planned conversion of a warehouse for goods and products into human encampment, I will continue with our legislative efforts to ensure no warehouse or similar facility is converted to a mass encampment warehouse of persons that is offensive to the dignity of human rights. So this is what's happening. They're still doing it. They're still targeting it, and then they're getting crazy people to go out and do damage. So, the sale didn't go through, and she tried to light a cement building on fire. I don't care if it didn't work. The attempt makes it arson and terrorism. What happened to 50% of white women? They are nuts. It's crazy. It is. It is crazy. It is crazy. Let's see here. Okay, so that goal ended. So I'll start another goal. For the next hour. So 1 hour, 20 super chats. We are currently $80 away from a second additional hour of the show. Thanks to Low Watermarks, a huge $70 donation. So, without white women, Democrats don't get elected. Yeah, that's what I say. So, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So Jonathan Turley said, there's a major verdict out of Texas where a mother and attorney were ordered to pay millions for perpetuating an alleged hate crime hoax that was eagerly spread on mainstream media. The response from much of the media to the verdict is crickets. We have no patience for arsonists in my area. No. Someone committing arson like that is like, they should be stopped immediately, permanently, if you know what I mean. Mainstream media and propaganda hoax machine. Sadly, millions are believers. Yeah. So let's see here. So alleged hate crime hoax leads to major civil award. Media is silent. There's a major verdict out of Texas where a mother and attorney were ordered to pay millions for perpetuating an alleged hate crime hoax that was eagerly spread by the mainstream media. Asher Van, a minor at the time, was labeled a racist maniac who tortured Samarian Humphrey, his black classmate, with other classmates. After the jury found the allegations constituted the intentional infliction of emotional distress, the same media that spread the story remained conspicuously silent. Major media outlets from NBC to CBS to the Daily Mail published the account of how Humphreys was tortured, shot with BB guns, and forced to drink urine during a sleepover. The NAACP and the Black Lives Matter protested the lack of action from officials ignoring the racist attack. Good Morning America aired a segment featuring ABC host Lindsay Davis, who promoted a GoFundMe account that raised $120,000 for therapy and private schooling. In her interviews, Humphrey's mother, Summer Smith, called Van evil and described its depravity to enabling reporters like Lindsay Davis. Some, however, were not convinced. Washington Free Beacon reported that Smith spent $1,000 on the donated funds towards her son's schooling, while spent funds on items including a designer dog, dining, travel, beauty products, liquor, and vapes. Parents rallied around the Humphrey family and held events at the school. Eventually, the case against Van was submitted to a grand jury, despite later testimony by Plano Police Department officer Patricia McClure that she did not believe there was probable cause for any charge. Given the pressure campaign, it was given to a grand jury anyway. The grand jurors then refused to indict. Van sued and testified that the alleged racist act occurred at a camp that was caught in a snowstorm, unsupervised. The teenagers engaged in dumb games and pranks. He said that after unsuccessfully searching for small game, they decided to shoot each other. All of the kids were wearing thick clothing and shot each other with the BB guns for fun. He testified that Humphreys participated in the game with everyone else in both being shot and shooting others. The urine was described as a prank that was played on various boys, according to Van, but no one actually drank from the cup. Under the common law, the elements of the tort of intentional infliction of emotional distress require a plaintiff to show that the defendant, A, intentionally engaged in some conduct towards a plaintiff considered outrageous or intolerable, and that it offends the generally accepted standards of decency and morality. With the purpose of inflicting emotional distress on or where any reasonable person would have known that such would result. The severe emotional distress resulted in is a direct consequence of the defendant's conduct. A racially diverse jury handed down a verdict against Humphrey's mother and the family attorney, Kim Cole. The inclusion of the lawyer in the verdict makes this a relatively rare case. Smith and Cole were ordered to pay $3.2 million in damages to Van, now an adult in college. Both the mother and the lawyer were ordered to pay $1,599,000. The case raises obvious analogies to other cases that were eagerly promulgated by the media but later disproven, such as the Jussie Smollett hoax. The Smollett story of MAGA-associated racists roaming the streets of Chicago was irresistible as politicians like Nancy Pelosi and others piled on. ABC's Robin Roberts gave Smollett an interview that was breathtaking in its lack of substantive questioning or even curiosity about glaring red flags in his account. Roberts described Smollett as bruised but not broken, and not as he described his narrow escape from being lynched in America. She concluded that in America with beautiful. Thank you, Jesse. The Texas case followed the same trajectory as the media built up the story and then went silent as countervailing facts were produced by the family. Once again, the role of and liability of counsel Cole is particularly interesting. We discussed the claim of defamation by counsel in the Depp Heard case. Attorneys are protected by absolute privilege in court in making harmful and even false statements. This privilege is best stated in the Reinstatement of Law, Second Torts, Section 586, to publish defamatory matter concerning another in communication preliminary to a proposed judicial proceeding or in the constitution of, or during the course as part of a judicial proceeding. However, it also means that statements made during an occasion outside a judicial proceeding are not covered. Thus, while the duties and actions of the lawyer representing clients are not confined to judicial proceeding, the court ruled that interviews with a reporter would fall outside of the privilege. Most courts reject the notion of absolute privilege while considering a more limited possible privilege for out-of-court statements. The absolute privilege will not attach to counsel's extrajudicial publications related to litigation, which are made outside the purview of the judicial proceeding. The literal definition of terrorism, performing a violent act because of political belief and trying to sway policy with violence act. That's exactly what happened in this arson case. Exactly. Sounds like boys being boys, and he was treated like any other boy. Well, that's the difference. That's the thing, is these people that always scream racism don't want equal treatment. They want special treatment. They want to be treated different than everybody else. So if everybody has the same thing happen to them, this one person will say, racism, because it happened to me. It's like, no, but it happened to everybody. Yeah, but I'm special. Likewise, actions by counsel can be deemed an intentional infliction of emotional distress. This can be a dangerously fluid line, since all litigation causes some degree of emotional distress. Moreover, lawyers often assist clients in seeking donations to GoFundMe accounts, which may help defray legal fees. Such public advocacy, however, entails a greater risk of liability. The key in this case was actions taken outside of court, as well as the alleged falsity of the underlying representations. The targeting of a minor is particularly notable in this case and raises memories of the disgraceful media attack on Nick Sandmann, who was falsely accused of abusing a Native American activist in front of the Lincoln Memorial. Despite various media organizations correcting the story and some settling with Sandmann, some of the media continued to attack him. The Van case is likely to be reviewed by many lawyers outside of Texas. It is a case that could be replicated in future cases involving lawyers accused of fueling reckless or inflammatory public claims. The fact that the damages were evenly divided between the mother and the lawyer shows the level of culpability the jury assigned to the role of the lawyer. Here's a jury verdict form. This would probably be a really good case for a lawyer to go over and talk about, like, what they think about it. I'm sure most lawyers would be like, oh, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous that lawyers are being held responsible. When I was a kid, we used to shoot kids with BB guns all the time. Common late boomer, early eugenics activity. Yeah. Not a pellet gun, a BB gun. Like, I had a Red Ryder BB gun. It didn't hurt that bad. It says, members of the juries, after closing arguments, you go to jury room, decide the case. Hearing instructions, do not let bias, whatever. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Did Summer Smith intentionally inflict severe emotional distress on Asher Van? Yes or no? Yes. Did Kim Cole intentionally inflict Asher Van? Yes. If you answered yes to both questions, then answer question 3. If you answered no to either, then do not answer question 3. If you answered no to both, then do not answer question 3, question 4, or question 5. Assign percentages. For each person, who do you find contributed to cause of infliction? So both equally, total 100%. If you answered yes to both questions, then answer question 4. If you answered no to both questions, then do not answer 4. Physical pain and mental anguish, 200,000. Physical pain and mental anguish, reasonable, 200,000. Medical expenses incurred, 30,000. Medical expenses that reasonably probable occur in the future. Loss of earnings capacity. Injury to his reputation in the past. Like, I don't know. Injury to his reputation and reasonable cost associated with the repair his reputation. Like, I don't know. I would think those numbers should have been higher. If only Joe was on tonight. Yeah, well, Joe's not on Fridays. Oh, Kilo is leaving. Have a great night, Jim and friends. Well, thanks for being here, Kilo. Please come back sometime. It's always great to have you. So, yeah, so that happened. That happened. So, and then we got this story. I don't know if you guys saw the story they were trying to make out about this this illegal alien. That Irish guy who said it's like a concentration camp. So this, Irish man stuck in ICE custody 2,000 miles from his Boston home for overstaying a visa 16 years ago. It's just torture. So he's been in the country illegally for 16 years. He came on a tourist visa and just never left. Yeah, lock him up. The man overstayed his visa by 16 years. We are a nation of law and order. Overstaying your visa violates federal immigration law. Yeah. Yeah. But it turns out this guy also, there's also, let me find it. It's right here somewhere. I had it here a minute ago. I saw it. Oh, yeah, here it is. Here's Robbie Starbuck. Says, remember the sob story about the Irish guy who was complaining about ICE? Media tried to make him out to be some great guy. Nope. It turns out that he skipped out on drug charges in Ireland when he came to America and overstayed his visa and deportation order. This was a propaganda op by the media and Dems to see if they could get people angry about a white guy being deported. Instead, they're finding out we really just want all illegals out, every race. And here it is confirmed. The Irish Daily Mail is the first main media to confirm that Seamus Culleton, currently in ICE detention in Texas, is indeed the same person charged with drug dealing offenses in Ireland in 2009. Culleton's lawyer just found out yesterday. Yeah, the Irishman held by U.S. Trump's ICE agent, who likened his detention to modern-day concentration camp, had left Ireland while facing drug charges. Seamus Culleton made worldwide headlines this week after he described the hellhole conditions in which he's being held for almost 5 months with 70 other detainees. Originally from Glenmore in County Kilkenny, he was been locked up in a facility in El Paso since he was detained by ICE last September for overstaying his 90-day visa. He was here on a 90-day tourist visa, and he just never left. The Mail's confirmed that he was charged in 2008 with several offenses in Ireland before emigrating. The charges were possession of drugs with intent for sale or supply, possession of drugs for personal consumption, and obstructing in a Garda in the course of their duty. Mr. Culleton failed to appear at the New Ross District Court in County of Wexford for his hearing on a bench warrant was requested. A warrant was never issued as he had left the jurisdiction. He also appeared in the same court in April 2013 for being extremely drunk in public. Well, that's just normal for the Irish. Speaking to the Mail last night, Culleton's attorney, U.S. Attorney Ogar Winnie Oseo, said that she only became aware of the charges against him yesterday. She said, it's a warrant that was issued after he came to the United States. I cannot speak further without knowing the details. A warrant does not equal criminal conviction. Today's the first time I'm aware of anything like this. I can't speak more on it. Mr. Culleton has pleaded with the Irish government to help him get out of detention. Yeah, the Irish government will help him get out of detention, but they'll help him right out into detention in Ireland. Yeah, link to the free article today in the Irish Daily Mail about the drug charges against Seamus that he evaded by traveling to the U.S. So I wonder, usually drug dealers don't just decide to not be drug dealers. So I wonder if he's a drug dealer now here in the U.S. Probably started his plastering business with the drug money, probably. Good try, media. We don't care about skin color, dumbasses. That's right. Happy Friday the 13th, everybody. Yes. So that guy, I knew I had it there. So let me go back. Let me find. I don't want to. Here, I saw that one already. Get rid of that one. Here we go. Here's the caretaker who CBS is crying about is an illegal alien from Mexico who rammed ICE agents with his car, according to DHS. No mention of the attempted murder in the CBS article. The media is covering for violent criminals. Yes, they are. His attorney is a real piece of DEI work. Yeah. Extremely drunk in public. That's something even for the Irish. Well, is it? Southwest Side community gathers to call for the release of the caretaker in ICE custody. What do you know? This guy. Oh, he's a caretaker now. My job is to make you think the views of 10% of the country are actually the views of 80% of the country. Yeah, that's the media. Yeah, the caretaker. That's the caretaker. And then political violence. The cartels operating with the protection of Mexico's president target police chiefs, officers, and their families. They are now bringing their tactics to the U.S., doxing the ICE chief, his agents, and their families. The cartels are delivering the addresses to the agent's home and their children's schools to ICE Watch, who then posts the information on nearby telephone poles. Well, if they're working with cartels, I think it's a conspiracy. That they can. Cartels dox ICE director and post home floor plans, video of wife walking to work and chilling threat campaign. Wow. I mean, it seems like I wonder how many visa overstays in the country. Probably 40 to 50 million. Uh-huh. On Thursday, the Senate Homeland Security testimony from the ICE leaders. Todd Lyons is a senior official performing his duties. Mr. Lyons began his federal career in the U.S. Air Force in '93, serving in South Korea, Southeast Asia, and Europe. His civilian law enforcement career started in Florida. After 9/11, he returned to active duty with Special Operations Command, Anti-Terrorism, and Force Protection. With deep concerns about doxing of law enforcement, Ron Johnson directed questions to Lyons, explains that videos of his wife walking to work have been posted online. The cartels have posted schematics of his home online, too. Johnson explained that cartels use similar tactics in Central America to intimidate police chiefs.
And wife going into school and going to church. I mean, it's an explicit threat, hands off, or we're going to do something. Well, there's such a demand for unmasking ICE officers, but they've been doxxed. So just talk about the violence, the threats, the doxing that your law enforcement officers are really under.
So, sir, it's day to day. If I was the field office director for the state of New England. I covered all of New England. And if you looked at the beginning of the operations, January 20th up until April, ICE officers and agents weren't masked. But it's bad. And I'll just use myself as an example. The week that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, there was a tweet that went out. It said, kill Charlie Kirk, kill another, there was another individual in that, kill Todd Lyons. That's the stuff that ICE, yesterday after the testimony on Tuesday, I went back to numerous death threats against my family. There was a videotape of my wife walking to work that people actively post. The cartels have actually posted the schematics to my home. ICE agents feel that every day. We actually did an operation with the Secret Service where we identified doxers who put up on telephone poles the home addresses and the schools where ICE officers and agents went to. But yet no one covered that operation. We covered that as a success. And I don't want my officers masked. I would work with this committee and any committee to work with holding individuals accountable that dox ICE agents, because ICE agents don't want to be masked. They're honorable men and women, but the threats against their family are real.
Okay, thank you.
Senator Peters.
So, yeah, so that's crazy, right? That's crazy. That's just insane. 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 Oh, look at this. Same person. Look at this. The co-founder of the Palestinian Action U.S. is currently in Iran doing propaganda for the murderous Islamic Republic. She's also celebrating the win for the UK chapter. These people are aligned with the men who kill women for showing their hair. Evil. Look at this person. Ready? Ready?
I feel incredibly inspired and optimistic by the millions of Iranians who are out in the streets today defending their government, despite the lies we hear in the West that the people are against the Islamic Republic. We see it actually has mass popular support. People support the resistance against U.S. imperialism and Zionism, and this revolution has had ripple effects for liberation movements across the world. It is not just an important event, an ongoing process for Iranians. It is important to all oppressed people fighting against colonialism and arrogance across the entire world. And today I feel hope that the pedophilic, Zionist, genocidal U.S. and Israeli regimes will be defeated by the resistance forces led by the Islamic Republic of Iran.
I follow Iranian channels, but most people in the West have not been exposed to the reality of what happened at all. They've not been...
So she's in Iran calling for the overthrow of the U.S. government. I think that makes her a traitor. And look who she's hanging out with. Ready? The co-founder showing her evil. Look at this. This is who, look at, there she is. Look at her. Oh, look at that. Look at her palling around with Liz Warren. Wow, Liz Warren, you might want to explain, your friend here is, wants the overthrow of the U.S. government. The pedophilic U.S. government, she said. Huh. Seems odd. Seems odd, doesn't it? Seems odd. I don't know the answer to that question about my state, Utah. Just accidentally, it would seem, released information. We have 500,000 illegals in our state. It could be an accident. It could be on purpose. And then, what's this? So that's that guy. We saw that. So we got this story. Governor Amara Healy refuses to share Massachusetts SNAP recipient information with the White House. Jim, don't mess with the Native Americans. Oh, I'll mess with whoever I want. Venezuelan nationals just got caught stealing $400,000 in SNAP benefits and $700,000 in federal unemployment benefits in Massachusetts. Maura Healy is covering up warhead on the forehead time. That's what I'm saying. And Maura Healy is covering up the fraud. Yes. Covering up the fraud. Of course they
Walked into El Primo restaurant in Leominster looking for answers, but no one was available to take our questions. What's advertised as a home for authentic Dominican dishes, federal officials say was a hub for fraud.
These defendants used stolen identities from victims across the country.
U.S. Attorney Leah Foley told reporters that the owner of El Primo, 37-year-old Raul Fernandez Vicioso, and 3 others, including 2 Venezuelan nationals, used stolen identification to fraudulently collect more than $400,000 in federal food assistance benefits, or SNAP, and $700,000 in federal unemployment benefits from Rhode Island and Massachusetts. These pictures from court documents showing how the group allegedly used the funds to buy food in bulk and use it in the restaurant. We walked into El Primo restaurant in Leominster.
Wow. That's crazy, isn't it? Supposedly 50% of the Massachusetts population is on SNAP food assistance, the state with the highest GDP per capita. Wow. SNAP recipients per capita, 15%. Well, that's crazy. Wow. That's crazy, right? Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. So here's the Seattle's socialist mayor, Katie Wilson, claims she will unilaterally ban grocery stores from closing. The government will force them to stay open. We cannot allow big grocery chains to close at will. We cannot allow grocery chains to close at will. This is the this is the woman who has Antifa as her security. All right, and. Okay, but we won't be employing anyone, nor will we be purchasing from our suppliers. We will terminate utility service. Will be dark inside, but we will leave the open sign in the window. Yeah. So here's the Irish guy. Guy Ben says he knowingly violated our immigration law for 16 years. He has a final deportation order against him. That's due process. He's free to leave ICE custody if he goes home. He may not want to go home because he's reportedly wanted for crimes in Ireland. Yep. Yeah, the 4 men in unredacted files names have no ties to Epstein. That's that story. Ro Khanna read the names of 6 people on the House floor, described them as wealthy, powerful men. Turns out 4 of them were just random people selected for an FBI photo lineup and had no connection to Epstein's crimes. Here it is. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem is personally on the ground in Arizona as HSI ramps up their investigation into voter fraud. We discussed voters who have voted here but are registered in another state. Arizona is one of the worst states for fraud. Let's see. Okay.
You offered a couple of examples from Kansas, Maryland, and Iowa and such. Can you offer us any good examples of this kind of fraud in Arizona?
Oh, I'm sure there's many of them, but we want to make sure that we talked about several of them this morning at our roundtable that we had. We talked about individuals that may be registered to vote in this state but truly live in another state. I understand that you have mobile homes and boats on lakes that individuals may have as their voter registration address, but not necessarily that is where they live. They live in another state, such as California or on the East Coast. Those kind of situations are things that your county officials should be bringing forward and be asking your Secretary of State for the opportunity to take off the voter rolls if they shouldn't be there.
Oh, that's crazy, right? Oh, let's see. Oh, I see Tony in the chat. What's up, Tony? Great. Where? Tony, great to be here. Nice seeing you. Nice fraud. Okay, so any arrests, it would be nice. They were trying to make the point that even though driver's licenses for illegals are given out here, very few are complying. But the statement kind of backfired. Now we know there are at least 500,000. They learned from the Somalis, yeah. Can she cover their overhead? I don't know. Good thing is she doesn't look crazy at all. My goodness, America, what the fuck are we doing? That's what we say. This California council meeting turns test. The Santa Rosa Police Foundation says it's a non-profit, yet no IRS or AG listing can be found. The group handled the 2022 gun buyback. The funds are gone. Oh, this is interesting. Where did the gun buyback, weapons, and cash go?
Thank you. Elaine is for us.
Good evening, Council. Recently, I inquired about the Santa Rosa Police Foundation because their website and their Facebook page says they're a 501c3. I audit nonprofits constantly, but according to the Attorney General's office and the IRS, there's no record of them at all. So I've asked for their Form 990s now for almost a week and a half. They're paralegal to Laura Rosenthal, who was the legal advisor for the foundation. She subscribed to my Substack publication, but they've still not been able to provide those documents. So this is concerning because they were operating the gun buyback in 2022. And as a Christian, I know that if we're not telling the truth in one area, we're probably doing it in another. So right now it looks like there's no record of where the money or the guns went. So that's a lawsuit against you guys immediately, and I did let Chief Cragen know. And I'm further concerned because I am the former executive assistant to the board and superintendent of Santa Rosa Schools. I've been reporting for the last several years, and I'm actively in court because there is an active child trafficking ring that is running here rampantly, and you guys target whistleblowers. So my co-defendant, Ms. Laura Ainsworth, and I are advocating for over 40 Latino children that were raped at Boys and Girls Club. Although the predator's doing 150 years and our oldest victim was deported, they're refusing to pay them restitution. So 8 officers were sent to arrest Ms. Ainsworth at Santa Rosa Junior College, where she teaches, for reporting that her husband, who is a teacher at Luther Burbank Elementary School, which is within the Santa Rosa School District, that he potentially had possession of child pornography and also severely injured her. Her hand was broken. She's been in a coma for a while, I think it was a week, and so it's just weird that you guys are targeting whistleblowers. So God bless you, a lawsuit's coming, thanks.
Okay. Well, I thought that was going to be more interesting, but it was so. This is about the election stuff. It says, no one, multiple Georgia state investigators had access to the evidence. That's why I asked for a shortcoming of those investigations in the affidavit alleging or what new evidence they are claiming. And you say the issue has been investigated multiple times, but no one has ever been given access to the evidence, only scanned images. Not good enough. Then he goes, lol, none of that is relevant. 2 federal statutes are at issue. The FBI investigates potential federal crimes. It doesn't matter what state officials have already done. They don't need to identify shortcomings. Fulton County admitted to misconduct. The issue is whether the misconduct was intentional or negligent. Feds don't need new evidence to do their own investigation. Fulton County didn't want to voluntarily provide the materials needed to do the investigation. Fine. Here's a search warrant. Makes sense. There you go. I don't know if you guys saw this. I think we saw some of this, but maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But the Minnesota Attorney General refused to prosecute Somali fraudsters who stole $250 million and then received campaign contributions from them 10 days later. That's called bribery. It needs to be indicted. We're going to watch this. I know we've probably seen it, but I like it. We'll play it.
You know, the other thing is whistleblowers came to you as early as 2019. Let's look. As early as 2019, whistleblower. Don't talk over me. As early as 2019, it's my hearing, pal. As early as 2019.
Don't call me
whistleblowers came to, well, I should call you prisoner because you ought to be in jail.
All right, here with more, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley. All right, he was warned. Whistleblowers tried to tell him. He didn't do a thing about it. Number one, how much money are we talking about? And in the course of that exchange, you said he should be indicted, put in jail, and resign. I don't think he wanted to hear you.
No, he didn't, Sean, which is why he was trying to shout over me. But you know what? The truth is a hard thing, especially when you're a crook like this guy. How much money? $250 million was stolen by this Somali outfit feeding our futures. He made $10,000 in campaign contributions. His family got more money in campaign contributions. Sean, whistleblowers came to him. He didn't do a thing. He didn't do anything until the fraudsters came to him in his office, asked him to get the investigators off of their backs and promised him money, and then he swung into action and put his hand out. That's what we call bribery, Sean. He ought to be indicted. He ought to go to jail. He ought to be ashamed. And you want to know why we have a corruption problem in this country? It's people like Keith Ellison.
Wow, that's crazy, isn't it? Keith Ellison's corruption. I am sick and tired of all this evidence against the demon rats and no handcuffs. Me too. I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. I am sick of it. So this guy, all right, and this is funny, like this is funny here. This is a story because this guy comes out and says, Christine Amanpour says the United States is now a hostile, potentially predatory nation under Trump. Conservative historian Robert Kagan tells me Europe must realize they can no longer count on the United States to provide security guarantees it's been providing for 80 years. This guy, conservative. His wife is Victoria Nuland, the person who ran the color revolution in Ukraine, Victoria Nuland, under Obama. But he's a Republican, conservative. Oh, yes, I'm sure she is too, right? His wife just got $315 million to fund whatever she likes for a Republican House, Republican Senate. What do you think she's going to be funding with that money? They're calling the government who gave them the money a hostile threat. Yeah, what do you think they're going to fund the money from that they gave Victoria Nuland? What do you think? I'm trying to figure out why Congress would grant $315 million to a psycho neocon who engineered the events predicating hundreds of thousands of lives being lost in a Russo-Ukrainian conflict. Yeah, me too. I don't know why they would do that. I don't know. Yeah, here. At the Munich Security Conference, congressional Democrats, having fled Washington right after successfully stripping DHS of funding, are exploring AOC's presidential ambitions and extolling the virtues of the unconstitutional wealth tax. Catnip for the far left. Yeah, here is...
So when you run for president, are you going to impose a wealth tax or a billionaire's tax?
I don't think that I don't think that anyone, and that we don't have to wait for any one president to impose a wealth tax. I think that it needs to be done expeditiously.
So when you...
Wow. Oh, wealth tax, yes. Democrats that funded DHS and then left the country. A Clinton judge who campaigned for McGovern, of course, thinks he has the judicial power to order the Secretary of State to engage in foreign diplomacy. The wheels have fallen off the clown car. After Rubio declined a judge's suggestion to return illegally deported Annie Lopez Beloza, a 20-year-old Babson student who was sent to Honduras in defiance of a court order, Judge Stearns has ordered the administration to facilitate a return. Yeah, no, ain't happening. Here we go. But ICE is the problem in Chicago. I saw this earlier. So, a man is assaulted and held at gunpoint during a daytime robbery in Chicago's Fulton Market. This is broad daylight in Chicago, downtown Chicago in Fulton Market. This is not like the ghetto. This is all business sector area. This used to be some of the safest areas of Chicago. Don't laugh. That imbecile is popular enough to win. Yeah, it's crazy. How much is AOC worth today? A lot. She still never paid her student loans, though. I mean, check this out. Look at this. Holding a gun to the guy's head and robbing him. Wow, getting into a Range Rover. I wonder, is that stolen? Huh. I mean, but that's broad daylight Chicago. That's crazy. We saw that one. Oh, this is crazy. Elon Musk, Anthropic's Claude AI has shown in testing that it's willing to blackmail and kill in order to avoid being shut down.
If you tell the model it's going to be shut off, for example, it has extreme reactions. So it will, we've published research saying it could blackmail the engineer that's going to shut it off if given the opportunity to do so, etc.
It was ready to kill someone, wasn't it? I'm not sure if it was Claude or someone else. But,
Yes.
AI,
This is obviously massively concerning, and this is the point I was making about kind of needing to progress research on alignment, which is this topic, this area, which is, how aligned are the model's values across the whole distribution, including in stress scenarios, to the point where if you've got this model out in the public and it's taking agentic action, you can be sure it's not going to do something like that.
Yeah, AI. Yeah. It's going to be great, right? It's all going to be great. It's all going to be great. Here's John Fetterman, who seems to be the only Democrat that's not mentally infirm, even though he has brain damage. It's crazy. I believe that if all this fraud and theft wasn't taking place, the small amount it would actually take to run the government would astound all of us. We wouldn't even need the IRS. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? So oppressed, yeah. I'm beginning to hate the Republicans more than I do Democrats. At least the Dems tell you they're pieces of shit. Republicans are the same, but pretend they're be for the people. Yeah, so shutting down DHS has zero impact and zero changes for ICE. ICE already has $75 billion in funding from the BBB that I did not vote for. But it will hit FEMA, Coast Guard, TSA, and our cybersecurity agency. As a Democrat, I can't vote for shutting down critical parts of our government. Yeah. Like, it would be like, what happens if there's some kind of terrorist attack or something crazy happens because they shut down DHI? They did all this stuff. How the Democrats going to overcome that if something happens because they didn't pay for something?
Hi, as a committed Democrat, I want the same changes that every other Democrat wants to make on ICE. But ICE already has $75 billion in funding from the big, beautiful bill that I did not vote for. So what it will impact is that we'll shut down important parts of DHS, whether that's FEMA, whether that's the Coast Guard, whether that is also about the CISA, the cyber security agency in our nation. All of these are shut down. We want to find a way forward to produce those changes, but shutting the government down is the wrong way.
Oh.
Hi.
What breaking news are you talking about, Forging Freedom? Oh, look at this. Here we go. Let me know what you're talking about. Kenton County, Kentucky last week, a former pastor, Jose Lopez Hernandez, pleaded guilty to sexual abuse. He has an immigration detainer hold. He abused a child as a pastor in the Ministerios Jesus Libertera Church. This guy. Let's see. Gender male. Active. Sexual abuse. Age. Race. Unknown. Unknown race. Look at that. Race. Unknown. Wow, they don't know his race. It's just unknown. They can't figure it out. Wow, it's crazy how they do that, isn't it? It's crazy. These efforts are ministering in our churches, driving trucks across the country, running for office, buying homes, teaching, working in hospitals, voting. The demon rats have given strangers access to our kids, our health, our homes, our money, our future. Yes. There we go. Oh, interesting. Interesting. All right. All right. This is a few days old because I did not get a chance to go over this stuff, but we're going to do it now. This is the illegal alien crime roundup. It's been 2 weeks since the last roundup. Here's a rundown of the 25 cases that have come to light. I'll post links to them in the replies. So Marshall County, Alabama, we're going to go. I'm not going to look at all this. We're going to go through the list. That's what we're going to do. That's how we do. That's how we roll. Okay, Marshall County, Alabama, man and detainer accused of shooting at police. Last week, Nicholas Pasqualar Gaspar was arrested after being accused of shooting at his brother and exchanging gunfire with police as they arrived at those residence. Don't even have to hose down the wood chipper for that one. That's right. After approximately a 2-hour standoff, Gaspar agreed to come out of the residence and was taken into custody without further incident. He's been charged with attempted murder, 2 counts of attempted murder of a police officer, certain persons forbidden to possess a firearm, and has immigration detainer hold. Well, he's a prohibited person is what it's called. AI Genie that is out of the bottle is not going back in. So, wow, I don't know. I can barely make this face out. I don't know. Oh, look, he's a white guy. What do you know? Look at this. Nicholas Pasqualar Gaspar, age 26, gender male, race white. Attempted murder of a police officer. Man. What do you know? So, but the picture is a little hard to make out there. But they're saying he's a white guy. Illegal alien arrested for sexual assault of a child. Salvadoran illegal wanted for sexually abusing a preteen family member caught at the D.C. airport. Nelvis Gonzalez Pardencio, 43, was ordered deported from the U.S. in 2005. See, if we just deported all the people that were supposed to be deported, years ago, I don't think, there'd be a lot less people. I mean, how many people have been ordered deported that haven't been deported? What do we think? How many? A lot? A little? Not many? I mean, what do we think? What do we think? What do we think about that? What do we think about that? He was ordered deported from the U.S., but was arrested prior to boarding a flight to El Salvador on Sunday. He had an outstanding warrant for failure to appear for removal, in addition to charges for sexually assaulting a child under the age of 12. Loads. Yes, loads of them. Yeah, most. Yeah. Probably another white guy. Next stop, CCOT. His buddies are still waiting for him. Send his... You were watching Bella too. Okay. 12? Yeah, that's crazy. Livingston Parish, Louisiana, an illegal alien arrested for home invasion and rape. Oh, what do you know?
Now to a couple of crime alerts to tell you about. Livingston Parish deputies arrested a man accused of breaking into his neighbor's home and sexually assaulting her. Orlando Giron is facing multiple charges, including rape, home invasion, and aggravated assault with a firearm. Deputies say the incident happened early this morning along Whitley Road. Investigators say Giron is undocumented from Honduras. Now to a couple.
So let's see here. Legal alien was charged with rape, home invasion, aggravated assault with a firearm, possession of stolen firearm. Media coverage. Let's see what it's going to say. It's going to say what he is. All persons are presumed innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, it looks guilty to me. A slew of charges for breaking no neighbor's home and raping her while armed. Wow. Yeah. Well, I guess Trump was right. They're not sending their best. They're sending murderers and rapists. Johns County, Iowa, a man, a detainer, arrested for slicing a victim's face. Let's see. Last month, Pedro Celestino Barboza was arrested for going armed with intent to willfully injure. He was an immigration detainer hold. He admitted to police that he purposely slashed a victim in the face, cutting her lip and requiring sutures. Going armed, age 49. Pedro Celestino Barboza Moreno. Why so many names? I don't get it. Why so many names? Miami-Dade County, Florida, accused of sexually assaulting a driver. A Salvadoran illegal arrested for sexually assaulting an Uber driver, causing her to crash. Deport him, make him ballless first. So, yes. Jay County, Indiana, illegal alien truck driver accused of crash and killed 4. A semi-truck driver, a Becken Belashkivi, let in by the Biden administration, CB1, accused of causing a crash and killed 4 people.
Indiana State Police are investigating a crash in Jay County where 4 people died. Officers responded to State Road 67 and 550 East early yesterday afternoon. They say a semi-driver had slowed down for traffic along 67 when a second semi-driver headed in the same direction didn't stop. The second driver swerved to avoid hitting the first, but did hit a van headed in the opposite direction. 4 people inside the van died. Indiana State Police.
Yeah, I saw this. Obama's former White House counsel and Goldman Sachs top attorney, Kathy Rummler, just resigned because she was in the Epstein files and referred to Epstein as Uncle Jeffrey. Yes, after all the convictions and after all the stuff, she was still communicating with Epstein and communicating about providing girls for something, for someone. Source Brandon Tatum. Yeah, I saw that. I think I have it in my things here. I just didn't get to it yet. So we'll see. We'll see. This is crazy. Orange County, California, illegal alien arrested for vehicular manslaughter. Illegal alien Darwin Felipe Bahoman Martinez has been arrested for felony evading, causing death, and vehicular manslaughter.
21-year-old suspect is in custody tonight, accused of causing a deadly pursuit crash that claimed the life of an innocent victim. Police tried to pull over the reckless driver in Anaheim, but he sped off, triggering the chase.
Just minutes later, his Jeep crashed into another vehicle whose driver was killed instantly. KTLA's Mary Beth McDade joins us live in Placentia, where the crash took place. With new details tonight, MB.
Yeah, Rick and Cher, the high-speed pursuit came to a tragic ending here at this intersection, and the driver who's accused of causing this deadly crash is now facing vehicular manslaughter and felony evading charges. 21-year-old Darwin Martinez of Anaheim is accused of plowing his Jeep into an innocent man's car and killing that driver while Martinez was fleeing from police. The deadly crash occurred in Placentia around 8 Wednesday night.
Last night, I just heard this extremely loud boom. It was the loudest thing I had ever heard. I knew it was just a very, very bad accident.
Police say Martinez also hit a white minivan, which injured an 83-year-old woman.
There was a white van across the street with an elderly lady in it. And then later on, I found out and saw the other car, the sedan that was that I guess the gentleman had passed. And it's just horrible that this has happened here.
Anaheim police tell us that the deadly chain of events began in Anaheim around 7:40 p.m. when they pulled over the Jeep Gladiator for erratic driving in the area of Miraloma Way and Lawrence Avenue. They say the driver initially stopped at Walgreen and La Jolla.
As officers began an approach to the vehicle, the driver quickly accelerated speed, and the officers got back in the vehicle and initiated a pursuit.
The Jeep allegedly led police from Anaheim at a high rate of speed into Placentia, where it collided with two cars at the intersection of Bradford and Madison Avenues.
Sadly, someone was pronounced deceased at the scene. As a result of that initial collision, another vehicle in the nearby area occupied by a solo occupant driver was also struck. That person was transported to a local hospital with a complaint of pain with minor injuries.
We're told the victim who died is a 59-year-old man from Placentia.
We'd like to send our deepest condolences to everyone that's involved in this incident, from the officers to the families to any witnesses.
I mean, that's crazy. Crashing into Placenta, that must have made a mess everywhere. Is it wrong to make a joke like that? I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. There was a couple comments here. So are people not deeply concerned that these are the people running our government, leading our government? I am. It's deeply concerned. And then Coney Hawk Pro Slaver says, Coney Hawk Underground. Yes, it would be so easy to do the Bukele solution because they all self-identify with 4 to 5 names. It'd be crazy. Anybody with more than 4 names. Lame joke, Jim. I know, but I kept thinking when they came saying Placentia, I kept thinking placenta for some reason. I don't know. Hey, Yankee Free has rated the stream. Well, thank you, Yankee Free. That's awesome. Most of my jokes are lame, Miss Hacker. It's just, everybody in government are in the Epstein files. Now we wait to vote. I guess. I don't know. It's crazy. Crazy what's going on. It's crazy. Harris County, Texas, 2 illegal aliens arrested for murder. 3 individuals have been arrested for the murder and the shooting death of Juan Miguel Acosta Vasquez and what appears to be a road rage incident. 2, Jose Padilla and Edgar Revis, appear to be illegal aliens. So they're both Edwin and Jose have ICE holds, both now charged with November 2025 murder. They've been ordered deported in 2021. Padilla was arrested in 2022. Unclear if he's ordered deported or remanded. Probably released by the Biden administration. Utah County, a man, a detainer, arrested for kidnapping and rape. Yesterday, Jose Alberto Garcia Mejia was arrested for aggravated kidnapping and rape. He has no photo on file. Look at this. Wow. It says, look at height, status, active, weight, height, 5'6", weight 215, eyes brown, hair brown, sex male, year of birth, country of birth. Doesn't say what race he is, though. I guess they don't include that in any of these anymore. So, crazy, right? New Orleans Parish, Louisiana Police Academy student arrested by ICE. ICE confirms that they've arrested a New Orleans Police Department recruit who they say is an illegal alien from Cameroon with an active deportation order and no work authorization. And they say he was illegally given a gun by the police department. ICE says 46-year-old Larry Tamea was 1 week away from graduating the New Orleans Police Academy when they arrested him. They said Tamea, no film in the camera? Maybe. I don't know. I don't get it. He first entered illegally in 2015 on a visitor's visa and was granted conditional residency after marrying a U.S. citizen in 2016. However, in 2022, his application for permanent residency was denied due to fraud. ICE says Tamea ordered to appear in immigration court 3 times but never did, disregarding U.S. laws, which resulted in an immigration judge ordering him deported in absentia, resulting in an active deportation order. DHS's statement to Fox, this illegal alien from Cameroon, Larry Tema, is not only breaking the law with every step he takes in the country illegally, but the New Orleans Police Department hired him and issued him a firearm. What kind of law enforcement department gives criminal illegal aliens guns and badges? It's a felony for illegal aliens to even possess a firearm. Sanctuary cities like New Orleans ignore ICE detainers and are protecting illegal aliens at the expense of American citizens. Per local media, the New Orleans Police Department reacted shocked, saying nothing was in his file that didn't indicate he was legal, adding he had a driver's license and a social security number. Wow. This woman. Yeah, this is the woman, remember, who didn't know how ballards work and said that they didn't get the ballard, like the problem back several years ago with that terrorist attack was like, well, we were supposed to get the ballards and we got all the money, but we just didn't do it. It's like, why are all these weirdos running police departments? Oh, DEI, that's why. Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, man on detainer arrested for attempted murder. According to court documents, Jamie Irem Gemez Gadina was naked when tracked down and arrested for attempted murder and stabbing his ex-girlfriend in a public park. Miami-Dade, 4 detainers arrested for bystander murder. 4 men on immigration detainers accused of gunning down bystander.
Exclusive surveillance video shows the moments before 39-year-old Desiree Gonzalez was shot and killed outside of a Little Havana convenience store. Police say the shooting happened just before midnight at Habibi Mini Market on Southwest 3rd Street. Desiree is seen here in a red jacket and black hat going inside the store. Moments later, an argument breaks out between people riding by on their bikes and 2 people outside the store. The video shows Desiree come outside as gunshots are fired between the 2 groups. We paused the video when she was hit by one of the bullets. The store owner explained what happened.
The lady, she went outside. She got shot in the neck. Wow. And she fell.
We blurred the video after she was shot. You then see people run over and try to help. Flowers and candles now mark the spot where she was killed. Exclusive surveillance video shows the moments before.
I mean, this is terrible, and she's a bystander and everything. But what the hell? You hear gunshots, you just go outside and stand around and like stand there, like you don't take cover, you don't run. You're like, what? Like I don't know. Is that normal behavior for someone? I don't think it is. I don't think that's normal behavior for somebody when there's gunshots. I'm just saying. I don't think that's normal behavior unless they're used to shit like that. Maybe I don't know. Peter Principal times DEI equals FUBAR. Yeah. Did those IDs belong to him? That's the question. Well, they're issuing. He had a driver's license. They're issuing driver's license to illegal aliens all over the place. So what the hell do you think? I think Bella needs her ears cleaned. She's sitting up for everybody to get a good look at her face. Look at her. And then Polk County, Florida, illegal alien arrested for arson and burglary. An illegal alien has been arrested in Polk County for setting fire to a mobile home park and burglary of a business. Wow. Because a 60-year-old Marcelino Hernandez is in the U.S. illegally and Florida isn't Minnesota, police are notifying ICE so he will be deported. Florida will waste no time in dealing with him. Florida leads the nation in excellence in policing and deporting criminal illegal aliens, working shoulder to shoulder with ICE and Border Patrol. Another white man, I see. Porter County, Texas, man and detainer arrested for intoxication and manslaughter. Man arrested for wrong way intoxication, manslaughter collision, now on immigration detainer hold. So this is the story, and now we learn he's...
Police say one person has died after a crash on Southeast 10th around 11 last night. Officers were called to a head-on crash involving a pickup and a car. The driver, 35-year-old Marcos Ramirez, ran away, but was later found. All 4 passengers inside that car were taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. One has died from those injuries.
Oh, that's crazy, right? Miami-Dade County, man and detainer arrested for attempted murder. On Monday, Moises Israel Mendoza was arrested for attempted murder with a deadly weapon. He's an immigration detainer hold. Oh, yes. Look at it. Here's Moises. What's his name again? Let's see. Moises Israel Mendoza. So only 3 names. So that's why they classified him as white. Clearly white man. Clearly a white man. Mecklenburg County, man and detainer arrested for murder. Man accused of killing delivery driver now on immigration detainer hold. Oh, DoorDash driver killed in shooting. Dun, dun, dun.
We now know a DoorDash driver was killed in a weekend homicide in West Charlotte. It happened Saturday night on Elman Street. Investigators found John Martinez dead at the scene. Authorities say Martinez was working as a DoorDash driver at the time of the shooting. DoorDash says it's working with law enforcement in the investigation.
Yeah, they're working with law enforcement. Greene County, Missouri, illegal alien accused of killing over indoor smoking. Indoor smoking, look at this. Oh, look at that nice tattoo on the neck. Christopher Salazar Montez.
Springfield prosecutors have charged 19-year-old Christopher Salazar Montez with murder.
It's related to a deadly shooting earlier this week.
Investigators say Salazar Montez shot Marvin Rodriguez Sanchez in the chest during an argument on North Burton Avenue late Tuesday night. Rodriguez later died at the hospital.
U.S. Marshals arrested Salazar Montez yesterday afternoon. He is being held without bond.
Springfield
Yeah, I will say that's a solid X account. I will say yes. Illegal Alien Crimes is a solid X account. Also, the Dapper Detective is a great account, and Border Hawk News, great accounts, great accounts. Let's not care how fucked is the system. Let's get rage baited. Well, the system's fucked. I don't know what do you want me to do, Potato Biden. I'm just trying to put on a show and make it interesting. Riverside County, illegal alien arrested for autistic girl's rape. Raping an autistic girl. DHS confirms the illegal alien status of Enrique Bautista Vasquez. He illegally re-entered the country after deportation and was released by the Biden administration. If you leave, if you're deported and you come back, that's a felony. That's a felony. The depraved illegal alien raped and sodomized a child with autism. Unfortunately, we cannot guarantee Governor Newsom as California's sanctuary politician will cooperate in turning over the scumbag to ICE. Well, if he re-entered, he had fraudulent immigration documents, including a social security card and a permanent resident card. So he had fraudulent documents. Wow. He entered on 2024 after he illegally entered the United States at an unknown time or location. He had a final order removal dated December 16, 2024. He was removed. He re-entered the country illegally and was released by the Biden administration days before President Trump took office. So he re-entered after being deported. That's a felony. Illegal alien arrested after crash death. Illegal alien Javier Sanjezar has been arrested for leaving the scene of a crash causing death.
Police say the suspect was driving when he hit a man on a scooter and left him for dead, and now that man is facing a judge.
Oh.
Good evening.
No,
I'm
no,
Lauren
Jim, you're
Pastrana.
good.
Thank
Okay.
you for
All
joining us. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor joins us live now with the latest. Yvonne?
And that suspect is now here at this Miami-Dade jail known as TGK. Well, Wednesday, this individual faced a judge for bond, and it was learned that he is an undocumented immigrant.
Sir, you were arrested for leaving the scene of a crash causing a death and driving without a license causing serious bodily injury.
27-year-old Javier Sanjezar was on bond court this Wednesday. Though he faces criminal charges, he could end up deported.
You have an immigration hold, sir.
According to the arrest report, the accident happened at this intersection, Southwest 6th Street and 14th Avenue, on the night of December 30th, 2025.
So he failed to stop at a stop sign, collided with the pedestrian who was on a scooter.
The victim was transported to Jackson Memorial Hospital. On the arrest report, Miami police wrote that a day after the accident, Sergeant Valdez spotted a 2018 Hyundai Tucson traveling the wrong way on Southwest 7th Street, approaching Southwest 17th Avenue. He conducted a traffic stop.
At which point in time, he noticed that there was some damage to the front of the vehicle consistent with a possible crash. The officer on the scene immediately contacted our traffic homicide detectives.
Police said the defendant was arrested.
The victim had traumatic brain injury, fractured ribs, liver injury, and was intubated.
According to police, 8 days after the accident, the victim died.
Detectives, as a part of their ongoing investigation, learned that the vehicle was in fact registered to someone else.
Police wrote that the owner of the vehicle rented it to the suspect, and investigators said that Javier Sanjezar told the owner he got into an accident at the Little Havana intersection, but the pedestrian got up and walked away. On January 27th, the defendant was charged and transported to TGK.
Wow. If we had a representative government, these clips would be a 24/7 feed on public news airwaves instead of the anti-American lies every morning. Well, I appreciate that, No, Jim, you're good. Thank you. You could turn opinions on deportations in a week with the media control. It's insane how leftists will still lose with all that power to brainwash idiots. Well, I mean, actually, the public, Gallup still shows the public is still behind deportations. They want all, it's like 85% want all criminal illegal aliens out, and like 65% want all illegal aliens out. TGK is like a hotel. Can you rewind to that reporter, Ivan? Sure. There's Ivan. Let's see, Ivan, right here. Like, this is Ivan Taylor. That's Ivan. Like, that is, what is up with Ivan? Like, he's got Joan Rivers' face. It looks like he's had a lot of plastic surgery. How long has he been in the country? He could just be a Cuban, like, but I don't know, like, maybe, I don't know. He picked the wrong state to be an illegal. It's not that far of a ride from TGK to Alligator Alcatraz. It's Miami. Most people speak like that. Yes, most people in Miami speak with an accent. Wow, I didn't know that. He sounds like he just moved to the U.S. No, there's a little Havana. There's some people there still will speak English that have been there 50, 60 years. So it's just the way it is. Or they pretend they don't speak English. Maybe. I don't know. Catawba County, North Carolina, illegal alien arrested for statutory rape of a minor. Abraham Cruz Resendez was arrested for statutory rape. He has an immigration detainer hold. Oh, what do you know? Here he is. Assault on a female. Indecent liberties with a child. A child under the age of 13. Can anyone say wood chipper? DeSoto County, Mississippi. Man and detainer arrested for murder. Reyes was arrested for murder and Mebrick Javier Reyes was arrested for murder and tampering with physical evidence. He has an immigration detainer hold. Yes. Mebrick Reyes. Hispanic. Joe. He's Hispanic. Broward County, Florida. 2 detainees arrested for a woman's rape. Jimmy Israel, I don't know, Israel Morales Podizas were arrested for sexual battery and more. Both have immigration detainer holds. Cobb County, Georgia, man on detainer arrested for homicide by vehicle. Cobb County, Georgia, on Saturday, Yafet Michel Menendez Cruz was arrested for homicide by a vehicle, leaving the scene with hit and run resulting in death. Yes. White male. Menendez Jaffet, white male. Clearly. Weber County, Utah, illegal alien pleads to attempted murder. Alberto Domingo Seco pleads no contest to attempted murder of his wife. He received 210 days of jail with credit. Wait, what? Weber County, Utah, illegal alien pleads no contest to the attempted murder of his wife. He received 210 days of jail with credit for 136 days served with probation for 3 years. What? You got to be kidding me. What is going on in Utah? What is going on in Utah? My kids are in their 30s, born and raised in Miami, can do the Miami accent and barely speak Spanish. The age of consent is 14, 15 in all their home countries. Universal values is a lie. I take Hispanics. It's fine. It's not that far of a ride to Alligator Alcatraz. Red State, Utah. Yeah. What is going on? I mean, I don't know. I got to pull the story up now. I'm gonna have to look at the story. An immigrant, an illegal alien, apparently in the country illegally. Oh no, it's an illegal alien. KSL that pleads no contest to attempted murder. Oh. We need the racial detection Elmo to correct these classifications. No joke. A young man built one. Okay. Utah has been invaded by woke Californians, and we are somewhat susceptible to suicidal empathy. Wow. Second District Judge Jason Nelson subsequently sentenced him to 210 days in jail with credit for 136 days. Wow. With 3 years probation, received suspended prison terms of 0 to 5 years on the attempted murder and aggravated assault charges. Nelson authorized his immediate release. Court papers don't specify his migratory status, but references deportation. Prosecutors know Seco is subject to an immigration detainer hold, which certainly suggests he's in the country illegally, but we do not know the particulars. You don't know. So see, this is how you get the reports where they don't say that it's an illegal alien committing a crime or alien, because they go, we don't know anything about it, so we don't specify. So that's why the numbers are all skewed and screwed up. The stats don't represent the amount of crimes. The best way to look at it is look at the prison population, the percentage of the people in prison in the United States that are illegal aliens, not citizens. It's like 20% of the prison population. Does that mean that 20% of the 400 million or whatever, 350 million people are illegal aliens? Does it mean that? That's 70 million? I mean, is that possible? And so they just commit crime at the rate of their population? I mean, I guess. Secco's wife said the man held a knife against her cheek during an argument in the apartment, threatened to kill her. He choked her and punched her in the face. If Secco hasn't already been deported, he's scheduled to appear for a hearing with Nelson, according to court papers. Joe, Sunshine says she was in Texas, but she lived in Jupiter, Florida, in her 20s. Interesting. You got to be kidding me. Yeah, that's it. The previous edition of the Aliens Crime Roundup. Oh, right, I'm looking at this. We saw this. So. Check us out. There will be a reckoning, according to Elon Musk. 3 men protesting against the rape of a young white British girl have been jailed for doing so, speaking out to protect her and other girls in Epping. However, the illegal foreigner who raped the girl got less time, and also he's here illegally. Make this make sense. Oh, music. So it just says, in the UK, 3 British men who protested because a young girl was raped by an illegal migrant have been jailed for a longer period than the illegal rapist. Yeah, that's UK for you. That's the UK for you. Look at this. Miss North Florida winner Kaylee Bush speaks out against her crown being revoked for saying that men cannot become women. I didn't lose my crown because I broke a rule. I lost the crown because I was willing to write the truth.
You were looking to compete for Miss America, but then they took your Florida crown off you because you made statements about sort of transgender?
Yes, that is exactly right. I was asked to sign a contract that was different than the first one that I had agreed to because they had changed it 4 weeks after I rightly won. And so I didn't lose my crown because I broke a rule. I lost the crown because I was unwilling to rewrite the truth.
And were you super upset, obviously, when you lost your crown and then Miss Cheerleaders America reached out to you and said, hey, we will honor you?
Yes, it was heartbreaking, it was confusing, it was disappointing because Miss America has been honoring women for over 100 years and now they can't even define what a woman is. And heartbroken, it was a lot of soul searching, but God uses all things for good and here I am.
Well, what were the circumstances that you spoke out about this?
So by circumstances, do you mean like? So
at what point did you say?
So that's just crazy, isn't it? That she refused to say that men can become women, so they revoked her crown. Coney Hawk, pro-slaver, says that if he did that in El Salvador, he'd have a life sentence in CCOT. You know, and Pat has a great question. When did they find the time? I thought they were busy picking our crops. Doesn't make sense to me. In Weber County, the mugshot records do not show country of origin. Salt Lake County does. They tried to obfuscate the truth. And he also says that the media source, KSL, is one of the worst for twisting the truth. Jupiter has grown. You probably wouldn't recognize it now. Last I was there in the early 2000s. I've been in Texas and loved the accent, though some people I couldn't understand. And Coney Hawk says, I knew our institutions were skin suited to fake and gay, but even beauty pageants, it's crazy, man. It's getting nuts. It really is. Like, I don't get it. I don't know what is happening. I don't know what is happening. I really don't. I don't have any clue how all this stuff is happening, but it is. It is. It's happening all over. And it doesn't seem like we're going to be able to make. I don't know how we're going to make heads or tails of it, but it's going to have to. It's going to have to. Something's going to have to change. It really will. It's going to have to change. Something has to change. It really does, because it's just not. It's just not seeming like something that I don't know that can keep going. Stop the world. I want to get off. In Miami, it's like that, but with faster cadence. Mexicans do not speak as fast as Cubans, so they sound like Ivan. The UK, along with most of Europe, is a mess, and the EU is finally finding countries that turn away invaders. When Elon Musk says there's going to be a reckoning, the targets of his comments should be very nervous. They should. Well, everybody, we went for about 3 hours and 15 minutes. We did hit 1 extra hour, but we didn't hit the second goal. We were still at $80 away. So that's going to be it for this evening. I'm going to try and stream again tomorrow, Saturday night, hopefully by 10, maybe 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Maybe a little early. We'll see what happens. I want to thank everybody who's here. Please remember to hit like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Tell your friends. Check it out. Be looking for, there should be some shorts coming for this video in the next 24 hours. If you want to check those out, that would be great. I want to thank you all. And remember to come on back for Jim to tell you the news.